Coming to you from the award-winning Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge, PCA's 2024 Best of Leaf Midwest Cigar Bar, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge, it's the Final Third Podcast.
Welcome back to the Final Third Podcast. I'm Rob.
I'm Will.
And I am Mike.
And today we are... Words already.
Let's go, baby.
We got Josh Ward in here with us today. And there's a big event coming up here that he's going to be Actually, I think you're putting it on.
Yep.
Your group
Yes.
is.
Yes.
And we want to talk to you a little bit about that. We'll have this out before the event, so hopefully we can get a little bit of traction for that as well. So if you don't mind, first of all, let's go ahead and get started here because we really need drinks.
Big time.
We're going to be drinking, starting off at least with the Chattanooga Founders, the 12th edition, which just came out here a couple weeks ago, I think. Really good. We're going to start with that, and then we're going to be smoking the Las Seis Provincia ZDT. This is last year's, so the new one's going to be coming out hopefully here soon. So we're excited about seeing the new one, but thought we'd smoke this one. And then Josh, you're smoking the which one are you smoking? Oh, the Isla del Sol Maduro.
Yeah.
So we got those going today, and then we're going to go ahead and get into this and start talking a little bit about what's going on with you guys. So
Sure.
If you don't mind, give us a breakdown of the event, and then we'll just get into it a little deeper.
Sounds good. Now?
Anytime, buddy.
Oh, all right. So, as Rob said, my name's Josh Ward. I am the founder and president of Blazer88 Foundation. In a nutshell, we can dive deeper in a little while, but in a nutshell, our organization supports veterans with whatever need they may have. We kind of focus on mental health and mental support needs, but any need that comes to us, whether it's, catching up on some bills or getting somebody where they need to be, supporting a family, that's our mission, that's our goal, and that's what we do. So, and then obviously, it's a fundraising organization. We are a 501c3, registered with the government and all that good jazz that you have to do things right. But so that's us in a nutshell. Like
Awesome.
I said, we can do a little deeper dive in a little while. Like
we
I said,
definitely like to.
we need some drinks. So.
Yes, we do. And something else, and I'll have you show it here a little while too. There's this awesome Pelican case. It's a legit Pelican case set up for your cigars, and we're going to do some kind of a raffle giveaway, something in that, and we'll probably bring that up. And as we get ready to record or post this out there, we'll put something on social media. So you come in here, and on certain days we're going to probably do some kind of a donation on that day. And then everybody that buys something that day gets a chance to win that. And, these small cases, you get the cigar cases, you can get those for like $20 or whatever. This is Pelican. This thing is probably a $100, $150 case. Set up nice, got the Boveda pack in there, got the shelves and everything in there for your cigars. So we'll show that in a little while.
I mean, it looks badass.
It is. Yeah. It is. And it's got the Blazer88
It's kind of cool.
coin on it already mounted on top of there. So really cool.
Very nice.
Heck yeah.
And I'm having a really hard time with words today.
That's okay. We'll take care of it for you.
Going
Fresh
back
off
to
the pierogi bus,
Yeah.
Pierogi
Made
bed.
it. Damn.
Scott's back.
Long drive, man.
Not too bad.
Not too
I'm pushing 3 hours, and
All right.
really it was just that I was up watching UFC 304 last night. So
Yeah.
is that right? 304? I don't remember.
Whatever.
Yeah.
3 or 4, 3 or 5, whatever
Yeah,
it takes.
something.
Yeah. So
I haven't seen you in person in like at least 2 weeks.
probably.
You looked like literally you've changed again. You've morphed to 2 shades darker,
Yes.
at least.
Yes. Well,
But the beard,
Iowa-
will knock
Beard
it
does
down.
it too.
the crazy adventures of Scotty D. Smokes going outside nonstop and running all over the damn place. But yep, it's been a while. I think I saw you for like 5 seconds, and you let me try a sip of the what was it, the Heaven Hill 18 that you had?
It was in and out quick.
I was grabbing a cigar on the go, and
I'm like, here, take this, try this now.
it's like, here, you'll love it. Okay, cool.
And the beard is looking good.
Thank
I'm
you.
liking it. I'm
I
liking
appreciate that. Yep. I'm a little scraggly. I just hopped out of bed this morning and just got in the car and drove. So
Didn't brush your hair or anything, huh?
no. Didn't brush the beard. No oil. Didn't even shower. So
Wow.
yep. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Thanks, Jen, for that.
We
Appreciate
smelled
it.
you through the door.
Yep.
Smell like beard and man.
Yep. So what are we talking about today?
So
Sorry,
this
I'm
is
Scott.
Josh.
Josh.
yeah,
How are you?
It's Josh. Yep.
Yeah,
good
I think
to
meet
we've
you.
met in passing in here once or twice before.
Well, I have been known to come into the Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge occasionally.
Yeah, now and then.
A couple times.
Yeah. Just here and there, when I can.
So give him the short. Blazer88, nonprofit.
Yep, Blazer88
Veterans.
Foundation, nonprofit organization, veteran support. That's what we're all about.
Awesome, man.
We kind of focus on mental health needs. That's our focus, but we don't limit ourselves to that. Any need that's brought to us or someone comes to us with a need, we do anything we can to try and meet that need.
Really, really glad to have you here.
Yeah, appreciate that.
That's awesome, man. That's a definitely hard struggle.
Yeah.
Our troops come back and even if they're not going anywhere, sometimes that military services they got a job to do.
Yep.
And because of that, it's not an
Absolutely.
easy job. And I've had firsthand experience with family and situations like
There's
that.
just so many veterans that come back and try to transition back into normal society and normal life, and when you've lived in such a high pressure, high stress environment, it's so challenging. I can't imagine what a lot of them go through to try to just kind of get back to a normal existence, and it can be really difficult. I mean,
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of guys.
yeah, I mean, when did you guys found Blazer88? Like,
Okay, we founded it in early 2019, so this is our 5th year.
okay,
This is our 5th anniversary. We got some big things going on for that this year on the fundraising side of the occasion. But we started out strong, and we've been slowly progressing and building it every year. So that's awesome. I think to date, my wife's outside on the cigar patio. She knows the numbers much more than I do. But to date, we've raised well over $200,000. And last year alone, we did $99,000 and some change. So
That's awesome.
we
Wow.
were that
That's
close
great.
to breaking that $100,000 mark in 1 year. So
that's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Well,
Good for you
I
guys.
checked out your website this morning. Like, you guys got a bunch of activities going on.
Yeah.
Like a lot of variety too.
Yeah, we try to reach everyone. We kind of started out with what now is our flagship event. It's a big motorcycle ride that we do, and that's coming up here in August. And then we kind of branched out from there. We tried a couple of other things that worked, but weren't kind of doing what we wanted them to do. So last year we did our first annual formal gala, and that went off without a hitch, and it was an absolute blast. Everybody that attended had a heck of a good time. We had a heck of a good time putting it on.
Where was it at? Or-
Last year it was at Adagio's Event Center in Greenfield.
okay.
This year
I've been there. That's on 40, right?
It is on 40.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's where they had the MMA fights.
Yes, they do MMA fights there.
Yeah.
What, like 4 times a year or something?
Something like
Something
that.
like that. Yeah,
I'm
fairly
not
regular.
on the list. It's terrible because I wish I was getting the notifications. But
Yeah,
we went
so-
one time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It's a cool place.
Yeah.
Well, the first rule about Fight Club is
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Exactly. Exactly. But the owner there always treats us very, very well. This year we're doing it at Picasso in Castleton.
Okay.
It's another event center, super neat place.
I think where that's at.
It
I've heard
is-
of it.
I'm trying to think how to describe it. It's on, I guess it's 86th Street right there.
Okay.
So if you remember where the old Gander Mountain store was,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
right
yeah,
across
yeah.
the street from it.
All right.
So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
no idea where that is. I know where the other one is. I live like 5 minutes from the
Okay.
one in Greenfield.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how to
The
read a map.
Castle.
Right behind
What is that,
Castleton.
what is that
Yeah.
store now? It's like a computer nerd store or something, right?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't
man.
get
Yeah,
down to
yeah,
Caston
it
very
is
often.
micro, super
Yes.
micro, or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah,
And I'll tell you,
it's right
that
there.
might be the worst road in Indiana.
Oh, it's horrible.
Right behind them, right behind the mall.
I love going to
Center
that
Run.
Costco.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Center Run's awful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the one that goes right around the back of the mall.
Yep,
turns
that's Center
into
Run-
80
Center
turns
Run
into
Drive.
82nd
Dude,
Street
don't get
or
me
whatever.
started about roads.
Horrible.
I went on a tirade last night after about 3 bourbons about my, and maybe my anger is misdirected, but I'm taking it out on Joe Hogsett because the state of construction and traffic in this city right now
Ridiculous.
is
Literally every road.
absolutely ridiculous, man. I mean, it took me an hour and a half to get from the airport home the other night.
Jesus.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
it's
insane.
not planned. It doesn't work. Like
No.
this project doesn't work with this project, and it's just a hot mess.
so I think it's an Indiana thing, because the Pierogi Fest is in Whiting, which is basically as far northwest as you can get.
Yeah.
Right, right up there on Lake Michigan. They got a beach and everything. It's a really nice little town. But we're staying in Hammond, and you've got like 3 roads that go north: Calumet, Indy, and Kennedy. Right, Indianapolis Boulevard and Kennedy Boulevard. Kennedy and Indianapolis. Kennedy was completely closed. Indianapolis, that you had to go through some crazy ass detour. It's like the only north-south roads that go across all the million railroads that are there. And then on top of that, so there's, tons of construction going on. On top of that, we're trying to get home last night after being at the fest all day. There was 2 trains on 2 separate tracks blocking every
Of course,
single
of
north.
course.
Wow.
We had to
Probably
drive
weren't on the
almost to
detours.
Illinois just to be able to get south.
Yeah,
of
they're
the
probably knowing that area. They're probably just sitting there, not moving.
They
too.
were not moving
Yeah,
at all.
Just sitting there for
just
hours.
sitting. Yep. I was
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. Kind of cracked me up. I'm like, I think it's not just an Indy thing. I think it's an Indiana thing.
It is, but I will say, I've lived here for 25 years, and I consider myself a Hoosier, but this is the worst summer of construction
I feel like
traffic.
too.
Yeah.
The worst year.
Well, and every
Of
time you
construction
go down there to Indianapolis, you're like, okay, I kind of remember how to navigate it. They've changed something.
Right.
Or they've done another road, or they got a different lane change. or
Every
now we're
rabbit
crossing
hole you
over.
shoot
It's like,
down is like dead end or
Yeah.
detour or roadblocked or I
It's
don't know.
ridiculous.
It's nuts, but
But that's
Anyway.
what's nice about living out here.
yet I
If I don't
digress.
have to go down to Indianapolis, it's great.
Rant over.
Yeah. Well, in New Pal right now, there's one overpass right by our house that leads into town. Super convenient. It's right outside the entrance of our neighborhood. Well, they closed that because it's crumbling. The city's fighting with the state. State's fighting with the railroad. Railroad's fighting with the county. So nobody
Nice.
wants to claim who to pay for
Yeah.
their construction.
Well, and you're just up here right now because you've been working in southern Indiana, correct?
Yeah, wife and I live over by Mount Vernon High School. But yeah, Monday through Friday, I'm down in Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's no better down there. It's
Oh, is it, they're doing
stuff.
it down there too?
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's
There is a great
horrible.
cigar lounge.
There is.
Yeah,
I've,
Match.
I've been in there a time or two.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Is
not
it still called Match?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still. It did change
Riverside,
owners. It did change
Match,
owners,
Burn.
but yeah, it's
Yeah.
no final third, but it's decent.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
decent.
I'd agree. It's not a final third, but they do a good job
Yeah.
down there. They
Do
got
you
good
ever-
I've heard good things
selection
about 'em.
and-
Do you ever see Keith down there? Big black dude?
Keith, yes,
Short, mouthy.
Mouthy.
I don't know about the mouthy part, but I think I know who you're talking about. Does he ride an Indian?
No, he's just a big fat black dude.
Okay,
calling
sure
you
I
out,
have,
calling you
yeah.
out,
I'm
buddy.
sure I have.
Yeah, he loves white people, though. So,
Well, that's good.
That's positive.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Oh, he always said, I love white people so much, I went and got me one. Because that's his
his
fiance, wife, girlfriend,
that's
whatever she
great.
is now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shout out Keith.
Yeah,
he
that's
he used to bartend there and do run the humidor. I don't know if he's still there. He might not be. Where's he at this week? San Carlos or something? Santa Rosa. That's it. Yeah. So,
Oh,
anyways,
Rosa, okay.
yeah.
So, okay.
Rob,
Say hi to
remind me,
Keith.
if this is EDT, is this the one that comes from the jar?
yes.
This is the jar one. Yeah.
Yeah, this
San
is the-
Latano
this is-
factory.
This thing is so good.
It is.
It smokes so easily. I always forget about it.
Yeah.
And you don't keep them in the jar anymore, right? You
Yeah,
pull them
full-
out and you put
full
them in a box or
Nicaraguan.
something.
As beautiful as that display is, it's not
It's
a
a
great
pain in the
display
ass.
for trying
Selling
to
it,
sell cigars.
yeah.
It comes out of the gate like really nice. And
Yes.
I mean, I was like, the cold draw was like, there wasn't really anything on the cold draw, but pretty subtle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's full
man,
Nicaraguan.
it kicked right in.
It was just
And
a
just-
slight bit of cinnamon on the cold draw,
Yeah.
which comes from the Nicaraguan Corojo. So
Now, my palate might be total dog shit right now. I've
you're
been
tasting pierogies right now, aren't you?
I got pierogies. I got
Pierogies in your teeth.
stuffed cabbage, which I call it stuffed cabbage because it's like galopkis. It's spelled a bunch of different ways, and
Sounds
and
delicious.
Polish language is really difficult, but
Stuffed
super
meat
super
pockets.
good. Plus beer in the beer garden all weekend, and then a half a dozen tall two-hearteds last night while watching
Wait.
UFC.
Wait, do you drink?
Why'd you come home?
I don't think you understand
Well, it
just how much I
ended.
drink.
That's the only reason why you came home.
I
It
came home.
ended.
I came home early because I had to, get to the podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
But
appreciate you
but
coming,
I will
buddy.
say the high notes in this cigar that come right off the top. It's not often that you get like some interesting kind of slight fruit notes, but I kind of get that a little bit from the smoke right at the beginning of this one before it settles in.
Yeah, I can
Well, I
see
decided we're going next year.
You're going to Pierogi Fest next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't
'cause
even
we wanna
realize
go to the
Pierogi Fest
dunes.
was a thing. I love pierogies.
Well, I only knew about it because he went last year too.
oh, I guess
So-
I forgot all about it.
I just remember his
What's the
pictures.
difference between a pierogi and a kolache?
Okay, so kolache is bread, like it's baked, right?
Okay.
Yeah, pierogi, really the closest cousin to a pierogi is probably the empanada.
Oh, okay.
But instead of being like deep fried and having a dough that becomes crusty, it's more like a pasta type kind of dough.
It's
So you basically
Softer.
make like a softer kind of pasta type dough roll out and you make it into circles.
okay.
Then you make mashed potatoes and you mix it with cheddar cheese and you put a little bit in there, fold it over. Then you pinch it, then you boil it, and then you pan fry it with butter.
Yeah, they're kind of
Sounds
like
So they're-
raviolis, but with all kinds.
So they're
of
low
different-
cal,
It's-
right?
They're
Absolutely.
They're
No
totally
carbs.
no carbs
No
at all.
carbs,
No
They're
carbs.
they're low
carbs.
cal. I like that.
Gluten free.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But you
completely.
can get, like you said, mashed potatoes and cheese. You can also get pierogies with pretty much anything in
Yeah,
there. I mean,
yeah.
you can get meat in there. You can get pretty much anything.
They have meat
they have
ones,
sweet ones.
sauerkraut. There is sweet
Ooh, sweet
ones,
ones,
spinach,
Ooh, sauerkraut.
cheese and onions.
God dang
and-
it.
Yeah.
How many minutes in already? We're already talking
less
food
than
now.
10.
I'm hungry.
Yeah,
God.
for sure.
Yeah,
That's what fat guys do on podcasts, man. We sit here and eat and talk about food,
Right.
We're doing a food
and then we're
one, too.
hungry.
it is a whole crazy event. It's a lot of people in and out. So they say they have about 300,000 that attend for the entire 3-day festival. I mean, it is like right next to Chicago, right? So there's a big bunch of people up there, but people travel from, further away to go. They've got like 6 stages with bands. It's all just along one main street. Take any little town in Indiana and just
Right.
have like the main street and then little, sections off 3 or 4 side streets. And that's
pretty cool.
That's it. But it's a really, really good time. You could probably honestly go for about 6 hours
Okay.
and you've kind of done everything.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you go for like 10 because you want to eat 3 times.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to go to the dunes. We've never been to the dunes. So we were looking
there
at
you
that
go.
this
I
morning.
haven't
It's
been
like
to the dunes
45 minutes
either.
away from Whiting. So,
Yeah.
Dunes is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a national park now. It used to just be a state park.
which
I
might
forget
be.
That's right.
I forget how long it's been a national park, but that's fairly recent.
Yeah,
that's,
and most
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
most national parks you can't take dogs to, so maybe that's why they're still dog friendly. Because I looked it up because we
Yeah.
want to take the dogs to the beach, and they're like, yeah, we're dog friendly everywhere. I
Yeah.
was like,
yeah,
oh,
it's weird. There's some areas of it that are national park and then some areas of it that are still state park.
park.
But yeah, it's super cool. I was up there last summer.
Yeah.
I did like a national park tour on my motorcycle, and that was my first stop. Hung
That'd be
out there
sweet.
for a day and
Yeah,
a half,
heck yeah.
and yeah, it was pretty cool.
It looks
It's-
cool.
It's a neat spot.
yeah, I
it's
like
really
the
neat.
pictures. So
That's
we'll
good.
go check it
How
out.
far west you go?
All the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Yellowstone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
I left home, hit dunes, busted over to. I laid down like almost 1,200 miles in one day. Got to Badlands National Park. Did
Which
a-
is South Dakota, right?
South Dakota, yes. Messed around the Black Hills around Sturgis and Deadwood and all that. And then I went over Bighorn Pass into Wyoming and then nosed up into Montana. Did Billings. Stayed the night in Red Lodge. I don't know if you know where Red Lodge, Montana is. And then did Beartooth Pass, which that gets up to not quite 11,000 feet of elevation.
But on a motorcycle,
On a
that's
motorcycle,
nuts,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Came down, went into Yellowstone, I stayed in Gillette, Montana, which is the north gate of Yellowstone. I stayed there for 3 days and just messed around Yellowstone for, like I said, 3 or 4 days. Left there, did the Tetons, Grand Teton National Park. Left there, put down a bunch of miles, got down to Moab, Utah, and did Arches and Canyonlands National Park. And then there's some state park, right? It's like, I forget what it's called, Devil's Face
yeah.
Devil's,
I've been there before.
Devil's something. It's a state park right there between. It's right between Arches and Canyonlands National Park. It's freaking amazing. Nobody goes there because everybody's hitting the national parks, but this little state park is freaking crazy. And then what I do from there, I bounced over into Colorado, rode up to the top of Pikes Peak.
That'd be cool.
That was crazy. It was like first week of September. I don't know if you've ever done Pikes Peak or not, but there's a guard check. They have to allow you to go up it, and you pay like a small fee or whatever. So it's like 70, 75 and beautiful, sunny. Get to the guard shack, and she's like, there might be a little weather up top, but you'll be fine. Go ahead. So I get up, and I'm riding up Pikes Peak, and I get to like 11,000 feet of elevation, maybe 12,000, and the sun goes away, and it starts snowing. And I mean snowing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, crap, I'm this far. I'm not going to stop. So I inch my way up to the top, and Pikes Peak's, 14,000 something? And there's freaking snow all over the road. It's freezing ass cold, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I got to get back on a motorcycle, and there's a few people up there, and like, what are you doing, dude? I'm like, I decided I was going to ride to the top, so I did. And they're like, yeah, but the roads are snot, and you got to get back down. I'm like, shit, I do.
Down's a lot harder than up.
Yeah.
Sit on your butt, slide sideways.
Yeah, coming back down, I hit that 12,000 foot mark. Sun comes back out, and it was just beautiful.
And you're like, oh,
I made it. I didn't fall off the edge.
Yeah.
Wow.
that's crazy, man.
That sounds like an awesome trip.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Well,
fun.
and that's the reason why you're here, because a lot of your crew's at Sturgis right now.
Yeah. Like half of my guys are, well, not quite half of them. A handful of them they're leaving out Tuesday morning for Sturgis.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the morons already loaded their bikes up. They're trailering. Can you believe that? I'm going to blow them crap right here.
Give them crap.
So everybody can see it and hear it. I'm going to blow them shit. They're trailering to Sturgis.
What the hell?
So I was
Ride
in
your bike, buddy.
That's what I'm saying.
You were talking about when you hit Deadwood down in South Dakota. Like Deadwood's, I don't know if you guys have been there. It's a crazy town. It's literally like walking back into the wild
100%.
West. Saloons everywhere.
Yes.
And casinos and shit. Crazy. So I was there. I was doing a marathon. So I walk in the day before the marathon, back in my running days, and I go to this saloon, and they're, I smoked cigars back then. So like that was my ritual day before a marathon, was just to smoke a cigar, chill me out, calm my nerves down a little bit. And I'm walking in and, getting a cigar and a beer, and I'm chilling out there, and they're like, well, what are you doing in town? I'm like, I'm running the marathon. And they all laugh, and they're like, you're not running a damn marathon. I'm like, I promise you, I'm here to run the marathon. They're like, you're smoking a cigar. I said, I do it all the time. And they're like, all right, we think you're bullshitting. I said, I'll tell you what, I come back in here tomorrow with my medal. You buy me a cigar and a beer, right? They're like, absolutely. So I show up probably about 1:30, kind of tired, but I'm like, I'm going to get that cigar and that beer.
Yeah,
I walk right in. They're like, damn it.
That's awesome.
Well, and that's what's funny is a lot of people don't realize, you're not, when you're smoking a cigar, you're not inhaling it, so you're not getting the effects that's going to affect your running at all.
No, if anything, it was better because
it probably did. Yeah, relax you a little
Heighten
bit.
your senses.
Yeah.
So let's get into Blazer88 a little bit. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing at the event and anything you have to say.
Sure. So, like I said, our flagship event is our annual charity motorcycle ride, and we do different things every year. We start somewhere different, we go different places, we end somewhere different. This year, we are starting on Monument Circle downtown. Some very, very good friend of ours has some connections with the city and with the folks that manage and control the war memorials around Marion County, and they have graciously donated shutting the circle down for us and letting us start our ride on Monument Circle. So,
and how many motorcycles you expect?
We usually, it's so weather dependent and schedule dependent, but we usually range between like 85 and 100 bikes, sometimes
Awesome.
a little more, sometimes a little less.
crazy.
But
That's
yeah,
great.
it's a pretty good sized ride. It's not the biggest in the world by any means, but we do pretty well.
Good.
So we're gonna leave Monument Circle. We're gonna swing by the 9/11 Memorial and take a look at that. I don't know if you guys have ever stopped by there or not.
Is that here?
It is. It's
Okay.
on Ohio Street.
Right off the canal.
Yeah, it's right off the canal on Ohio Street, just a couple blocks west of Monument Circle.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's pretty touching.
It's
It's something else.
I can't really do that anymore.
It's
Yeah.
hard, man. It's
Yeah.
hard.
After doing the 9/11 museum,
Mm-hmm.
at Ground Zero,
tough.
I didn't even make it halfway through that.
Yeah,
and I was
it's-
like, I'm out. I'm
Yeah,
done.
you gotta, especially if you've been there before, and you gotta brace yourself a little bit to walk up to it. But we're gonna go do that, and then we're gonna get out of the city to the west. We're gonna stop in Avon and have some lunch, and then work our way north. I'm kind of finalizing our final stop. I had a couple things fall apart on me this last week, so I'm reorganizing real quick, but we'll get her together. And then we're going to end at the Carmel, Indiana VFW post.
Okay.
Again, those folks have graciously donated their facility to us. They have an awesome facility, brand new building, big building, nice bar. They're going to give us dinner. They've got a big patio, big deck and patio on the back, holds a couple hundred people. The stage, they've got live music lined up for us for an after
awesome.
party. And then we always do a small auction, like a small live auction, 8-10 items, raise a little extra money, stuff that folks have donated to us. Usually some very, very nice items.
That's cool.
So that's kind of our fundraising. We do kind of the biggest way we bring in money is we do sponsorships. So we get folks that sponsor the Blazer88 Foundation for our fiscal year. So it's basically from July to July. And then we promote these folks on our social media platforms and at our events. We do our two big events, the ride and then the gala. And we also do like some small one-off events. Like we did a bike night up in Fort the other night. We're working with Rob and Lisa to do a bike night or two here before the year's out. Just little small stuff like that, but we promote all these folks throughout the year. And for the last several years, Final Third has been a Blazer88 Foundation sponsor, so thank you for that, Rob. We
Thank you for doing it. Because
greatly appreciate y'all's support.
No, I mean that's the thing. Is like I feel like anybody in America, they need to get behind stuff like this. These are people that you're actually helping that literally went, and some of them died for our freedoms to sit here and smoke a cigar and have a bourbon and
Absolutely.
talk bullshit on the mics. It's like
absolutely.
I think we in America especially we take for granted a lot of the freedoms we have, but those freedoms were not free.
Absolutely not.
And I appreciate that you guys do that, because that's got to be hard coming back, especially like you were saying earlier. These guys come back, all you guys come back, and a lot of times it's hard to get a new job, or it's hard to acclimate back to society, or you're in a high stress environment like you were saying. You come back here and it's like, I'm not taking a freaking desk job. I got to find something to kind of get my juices flow a little bit, or just have somebody support me and thank me for coming out and doing the things I did. So I mean, I appreciate what you do.
And that needs to be the case always.
It always does.
It's politicians start the wars, but your neighbor, your family member, your friend, they're the ones that have to go fight them.
Yeah.
And that's the people that should be getting taken care of all the
should
time.
be.
And the key is when our veterans do come back, hey, I mean, depression's a real thing, right?
Big time.
Or PTSD or whatever they're experiencing. The key is like they need to tackle that like sooner rather than later. Like, don't let that fester and turn into something bad, because the sooner you get help and the sooner you can get that, get your mental health kind of back on track, I mean, the better off you're going to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I know you meant.
No, there's a hefty fucking fee. Sorry, go ahead. It's the only thing I can think of, so I had to do it. Carry on.
So I know you kind of mentioned a little bit about what what the funding goes towards.
Yep.
Can you expand upon that a little bit?
Absolutely. Like I said, our focus is mental health, but that's most certainly not the only need that's out there.
Right.
I mean, we've had people come to us and say, "Hey, I need some counseling. I need some therapy. I can't afford it, whatever the case may be, and do what you need to do. What do you need?" And we would talk with the therapist and whatnot, and they're like, "Hey, this is for right now an open checkbook. You know, we know what your bill is. You get this person taken care of and send us the bill."
Yes.
We've done that numerous times. We've had people come to us and say, you know, "Hey, well, this is a super simple one, and this is just kind of shows you the broad spectrum of the things we do." We've had a person come to us like, "Hey, my dad's a disabled Air Force veteran, and he's in a motorized chair, but he's got no way to get into his house. So he goes out and buys his groceries in this chair, and he's got to get out of his chair and somehow get into his house and get into his other chair."
Oh, geez.
I'm like, well, that's easy. I can build a ramp.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
we partnered with some other folks and built the man a wheelchair ramp so he can get in and out of his house. So, you know, somebody comes to us with a need. My personal goal is once the situation is vetted, you know, and it's confirmed that it's real, my goal is to never have to say no.
Right.
Right.
And to date, I've never had to say no.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Yeah.
That's great, man.
That's where I'm at. Is if their need is real and it's there, I want to have the funding and the support and the backing to meet it. And we're very blessed that I've got some of my big donors have came to me and said, "Hey, you know, we sponsor you guys and we believe in you guys," and whatever. He goes, "If you get to a point where you're going to have to say no, don't. I got it."
Oh,
That's great.
So that's
great.
That's amazing. I mean, the support that we've had over the years and the folks that back us and support everything we do and have told us numerous times, "Hey, we're a phone call away. You need something, you call us."
Nice.
No matter what it is, monetarily, getting in a car and doing something, going to get somebody, just name it. We got it. So
That's
it's
awesome.
amazing. Just like at the bike night a couple weeks ago, we had an individual come to my wife and pull her aside and say, "Hey, my family member has this need. You think that's something you might be able to help us with?"
Yeah.
And, you know, again, vetting process and all that, the answer was absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so, and yes, we need money. Yes, we do a lot of pounding the pavement and a lot of doing this kind of things to draw that money in. But to me, doing things like this and our little micro events and even our big events, it's more getting the word out about what we do so people feel welcome and feel the ability to come to us, whether it's themselves or someone they know or a family member, and say, "Hey, help is needed. Can you help?"
That's just it.
That's the important
Yeah.
part to me.
Because I mean, like you said, I mean, a lot of guys and women for that matter. These are prideful people. They don't want to ask for help a lot of times. So if they have family members that know about your organization, a lot of times it's just a family member coming in and saying, "Hey,"
Right.
you know, and then that person not having to, you know, go because that's difficult for a lot of people sometimes to ask for help. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes it is just a matter of being the person that can connect, right?
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're looking there as a family member, and you don't know what to do.
Yep.
Like you
Well-
feel helpless in helping your friends and family that are going through that kind of struggle. So
And I'm sure you're in the exact same boat. And I think you've met Dirk Fence with the End of Watch Legacy
Yes.
Fund.
Yes.
You're in the same boat as he is. You hope you can raise all kinds of money and never have to use it.
Yes.
But we're not in that world.
No, we're not
We're
in
not
that
in that
world.
world, and
Yep.
and we need to be able to support that. So
Yep.
on that flip side too, you're talking about what you guys do. How would someone get a hold of you if they hear this on the podcast and they have a need? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you don't know somebody that's involved with us, you can simply jump on the internet. The web address is blazer88.org. So the word Blazer, BLAZER, number 88.org.
Okay.
And there's contact information on there, our email address. The phone number that's on there is my personal phone number.
Okay.
So text it, call it, leave a message if you don't get an answer, and somebody will get to you quickly.
Enjoy live harness racing action at Harrah's Hoosier Park, Tuesday through Saturday through November 30th. First post on weeknights is 6:15 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Saturdays. Also enjoy the Hop Bebop concert series to go along with racing on Saturdays with local musical acts live from the Hop Outdoor Recreational Area from 7 to 10 p.m. Admission is free. Harrah's Hoosier Park, premier gaming in the heart of the Midwest.
If you don't remember that and you're in here and you do that, just ask one of us. We'll definitely put you in touch.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll share the info. We'll put it in the description below. So
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
yeah, be sure to reach out and check out the website and see how you can donate. And,
Yep.
You know, just help out.
So,
It's cool.
Cool.
Helping out's
Very
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Get into it, Scott.
No,
So what's
appreciate
up
you, buddy.
with this? This is the
Chattanooga Founders. Yep.
Chattanooga Founders.
This stuff is great.
100 proof.
really
Very
good?
Yeah,
man.
it's a little lower proof. It's 100 proof.
Which I think they do all the Founders at 100 proof.
Yep.
Except for the 111.
Well, that's not
That's
Founders.
not Founders though.
That's just Chattanooga.
Oh, that's just Chattanooga. Okay,
yeah, that's a
right.
regular
Cast
release.
strength, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one is what are we doing here? It is a blend. But it's, let's see, where's the mash bill? I just had it. 51, 9 and 40. Corn,
Wheat for the 40.
barley.
They're heavy malted
It's
barley
very
heavy
on
malted.
all their mash bills.
Yep.
But it does not come off with that single malt.
No, it
Not
doesn't
at all.
No.
No.
You're not getting that malty
I think that's
barley flavor on it.
I get like a cola flavor almost.
See,
I
I
think
was-
that's the barley
I was thinking that
to me.
because Scott, Dr. J, he's the resident Chattanooga lover, which we all are now too. But I think he was saying that this has a blend of a lot of 9-year, but then there's
Yeah.
some 7-year in there too.
A couple different cooperages involved.
So it's kind of cool that they're able to do a blend and create something like this. Every year they do the Founders blend, and I think it's just kind of their staple, saying this is us. This is our roots. And so it's kind of cool. This one, we actually got quite a bit of it. I just ordered more because we're going to drink a lot of this bottle today.
Heck yeah.
Every they have a giant. Correct me if I'm wrong. They have a giant Solera barrel, right?
They
that They kind of pull from this every year, so it's going to change a little bit as they add to it, right?
Well, the Solera barrel, I don't know if they put some of that in this or not, because Solera barrel is what they use for their 91.
Oh, okay.
Scott actually brought in a sample for us to try of it cast strength out of the barrel yesterday.
Okay.
Oh,
and
really?
it's freaking good.
Yeah, Scott's our resident Chattanooga expert.
Yeah, he
Yes.
no doubt, yeah.
is
Yeah.
all things Chattanooga.
So we're going to Chattanooga in August next month.
Okay.
Dr. J set us up with a
Nice.
tour and tasting there, so
Very cool.
we're all going to go down there and do a tour and tasting and do an episode down there with them.
Oh,
so,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Put her head into that massive Solera barrel.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna climb in the Solera barrel.
Does this remind you of the whiskey from Whiskey Gypsy, the one that
Explorer?
was the
The Explorer, yeah.
that was the blended one,
A little
right?
bit.
Yeah.
No, the Legacy was the blended one.
Okay, then it's the Legacy that I'm
Yeah,
thinking
that was the
of with
more
this.
complex.
Yeah, and this one doesn't have near the complexity, but I feel like, that blending of the single malt that it had in it, and this being such a high barley in the mash bill, I feel like there's some of those notes that come through from the fruit side that you typically get from some of those single malt scotches.
Yeah, I'm tasting, the little strawberry candies that come in a little strawberry looking wrappers.
Yes.
Yeah,
The little
the weird
hard candies you
plastic one.
bite in them, and there's
Yeah.
this little gooey kind of strawberry stuff in it. Like, I'm totally getting that candy strawberry kind of
Yep.
thing going on
Yep.
with this.
Yeah,
this
you're
morning.
right.
Now that you say that, I was trying to figure out what that was.
What's popping into my head?
Yeah,
you
Like,
nailed
I
it.
know that's what it is.
Yeah,
Which,
you
how
nailed
do
it.
you isolate out some of the typical barley notes and get rid of those out of this and end up with just some of the fruit notes?
On that.
That's
Because
impressive.
that's a lot of barley.
It's magic,
40%
man.
is a
40%
ton.
is a
That's
lot
a
of barley.
Yeah, and thinking about that blend,
Yeah.
on that Legacy.
So their master distiller, he was a brewer. So he's really held true to a lot of his brewing experience, which is beer's malted barley, right? I mean, that's mostly beer.
Yeah.
So he plays around. He knows malted, malts very well. And that's his gig, man.
So
They do.
probably a little bit more temperature control with the mash process.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't look when you're making a distilled product, the mash temperatures and getting the right types of sugars and all that sort of stuff is not, it doesn't seem to be as critical. I mean, when you walk in and you see open mash like at Maker's Mark, right? And people are sticking their finger in while that's mashing and, okay, that's not controlled. You can't do that with beer. Like
No.
at all. If you do that, that's ruined beer right there, right? Even before you get to the boil, you can have issues that you introduce. So maybe it's some of the control in the mashing process. Maybe they're a little bit tighter on some of their controls to be able to get that.
That's a great question that we got to ask them.
Yeah, that would be a good one to ask them. Yeah.
Yep. And obviously yeast selection can make a big difference in that as well, pulling out some of those different esters and phenols that you want from that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to talk to them. I mean, they were pioneers in changing the regulations for distilling in Tennessee. I mean, they were the ones that fought the fight.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You got big.
Well, at least when I say
Like what was allowed or what regulations?
There were so many dry counties in Tennessee where they outlawed distilling altogether. And Chattanooga, wherever county Chattanooga's in, was one of them. There's now all these distilleries in Chattanooga. Before that, there were none. And they fought the fight and went through all the legal processes to get the laws changed there.
It feels like we're about done. We're getting pretty close to just kind of open access. I see more and more cities and towns that have festivals that are changing their open container laws for walking around. You see the dry counties kind of going away. You see a lot of the restrictions on the days and times in which you can buy certain things or where they can be sold. Yeah. They're all slowly starting to change. I mean, the new
law, it's
last week, with the whole being able to do home distilling. That's gonna, that's
Fill
actually
me in on that.
So Texas shot down the federal law as part of the Chevron case change in the Supreme Court, where they can't have the regulations that come directly from agencies. Instead, they have to be done through Congress. The
American, I think it's the American
God bless
or
Texas.
The American Home Distilling Association sued the TTB.
Okay.
And basically saying that not allowing home distillation is unconstitutional.
Well, that's good.
It's not crossing state lines. Like if you're going to sell it, you're not selling it and you're not going across state lines. How does the federal government have control?
It should.
The U.S. Supreme Court judge in Texas basically cited or maybe it was the attorney cited a Chevron case involving Chevron. I don't know the details of that case they cited, but the judge ruled, it is indeed unconstitutional.
It's the one that also, like the Cigar Association, PCA, talked a lot about that case because of what it meant for premium cigars and the fact that the FDA, the USDA, they can't come in and classify a lot of these tobacco products holistically and just randomly make laws against them.
Right. Nope, they have to use the experts, and guess where the experts come from? From the fields.
Exactly.
That being said, public safety service announcement.
Absolutely.
If you're going to start home distillation, you need to take a course.
Yes, you
do. You need to know what you're doing, because number one, you could blow up your entire neighborhood. Number two, you could kill somebody or hurt somebody if you don't make your cuts right. So,
Not that I've ever done anything of that nature. No. Allegedly.
Never.
Right. You're 100% right. You need to understand what you're doing and learn that process. And
now I will say there is a kettle kit for distilling, obviously not for liquor, but it does distill. And
comes with Sudafed and spoons.
It's actually really impressive because it comes with a little book and it's all completely self-contained, and it does say like what you're creating is highly flammable, and it basically says
you're distilling water only.
Right. If you distill something that has liquor, then you are going to create something highly flammable. And get rid of the first half cup. That's what it says. And if so everything else
is volume though.
Well, this one because it's
a math on
it's like a complete controlled, self-contained. It's got everything in it. It's an electric deal. All you do is you ferment in a bucket.
Yeah.
And like the recommendation is just do rum as a starter. Just get 5 gallons of water.
It's easy.
Cook it with, you don't have to cook it with sugar. You just put the sugar in and you pitch the yeast. It'll ferment out. Dump that 5 gallons into this still and plug it in.
Yep.
and you hook it up to a hose. That's what provides your cold condensing.
Yep.
And it just says dump your first half cup, and everything after that is golden, and it can taste like shit. You're going to learn, right, how to find
You can that first that first cut that you need to get rid of, you can smell the difference. I mean, as it's coming off, you're like, oh, that shit's nasty, and then it's like a light switch. You're like, oh, here's the good shit.
Well, you can also. Well, I think we were so. I can't remember where
feel
we were.
the
You
difference.
can feel
Yes,
it.
you can. 100%.
And that Boone County, we actually did it up
No,
there.
that was Gary.
That was Gary. That's
Woodhat.
Gary over
He said
Woodhat.
he said feel it.
And we were feeling it when it was still in the basically the poison. You could feel it, and it's like
it strips all the oils off your hands. So
Yes.
Yeah, that first batch is
Yeah.
like acetones and like
as soon as you
nasty
feel,
shit.
as soon as you
Mostly
start feeling
methanol
buttery,
in it.
Yeah,
kind of a-
methanol and
methanol,
acetone.
Yeah.
It's great for cleaning shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yep.
again, allegedly, I've saved it and used it for
degreasing.
the same shit you use an acetone for or whatever.
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
Light and charcoal.
Yeah,
Take
exactly.
your fingernail polish off.
Yeah.
Clean and
Yeah,
clean.
so good stuff there that
Mm-hmm.
potentially
Yeah.
home distilling could become a thing.
Yeah.
And obviously if it does, I think there'd be a big opportunity for, either distillers or even places that are just education and maybe barrel pick type places to offer classes that is just a little home distilling, class and tell you
Dude,
about this stuff.
I would say, I'll throw Alan Bishop under the freaking table.
You
here.
took the words out of my mouth.
I mean, it's like that would be right up his alley, man. He could sell kits down there
man.
in Patoka, and he could actually have classes once every quarter or whatever. And he would be the guy I'd like to learn from.
and you would
I was
learn
gonna
how to
say-
do it safely.
Yes,
Yeah, I would
safely,
love
and
to go
also
take a class from
the cool
him.
thing about him would be also is he's not going to just teach you like, okay, here's how you make vodka.
You know,
He's going to explain what you can do, the different things, the malting, all that stuff, so you can actually play
Yeah, he
around
malts
with it
his
and
own
create
stuff,
something
so-
special. Yeah,
playing with pH. Getting
Yeah.
pH of your mash right.
yeah.
And
He'll talk about. I mean, guys, this guy's out in the woods. Getting wild strains of yeast, just trying something new all the time, and it's like this is amazing.
yeah, this
I
dude's
bet-
taking we're going to go down there at some point, but right now he's got he's called it sunshine. It's basically malted sunflower seeds that he's turned into shine.
No
it's
shit.
going to be
Yeah,
crazy.
so it's
I
not
can't wait to
moonshine,
try
it's
it.
sunshine.
Yeah.
So first
Sunshine.
barrel's done.
I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking
that's
of
cool.
Alan and his history with spirits of French lick, man.
Rob is
Yeah.
the king of transitions.
That
I just
was-
want to point that out.
Yes.
That Rob is always the king of transitional conversation. So
Well,
Yeah.
that was a bit of shocking
It's kind of a shame.
news.
So those of you that don't know, you may not be following him or not, but so Alan Bishop was with Spirits of French Lick. He left there, started his own thing. Honestly, it's what he's been wanting to do for a long time. It was what he needed to do. His successor was Justin Whaley, and he took it over. And he's recently been let go. But there's a lot of backstory that I have no idea what it is. I'm sure Alan will say it, but I'm sure he won't want it shared. We don't know what the hell's going on down there. But we hope Justin finds another spot because obviously he has a passion for this. I'd hate to see him go off and not be able to be a part of this industry anymore. But yeah, something weird, really weird is going on down there. I don't know if they're
his release that he posted on his Instagram was the way they explained it to him was due to immediate lack of production.
which tells me they're going to either stop producing or they're only going to produce certain things, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Very, very
on the
limited.
distilling side.
Yeah.
Now, again, Spiritual French Lick came out of French Lick Winery. The winery is where all their roots are. Maybe they just weren't making money on the distilling side. They had to make a tough choice. Kind of feel like there's more to the story to that, though.
They are winemakers.
They are winemakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family is.
And honestly, with the area and kind of that French Lick, West Baden
It
Springs
fits.
crowd,
Yeah.
it's always going to be kind of I tend to find, Janelle and I went down, we found it's a lot of older folks, right? Retirees or close to retirement that go down there and spend a few days and rock in the chairs on the porch and, go to the casino and gamble some. Not necessarily the crowd that has traditionally been, hardcore people going after a distillate product, right?
Yeah.
A distilled product instead of a winery. A winery,
Yeah, for sure.
pretty simple. There's nice, easy tours. You can taste a bunch. You sell a few bottles, right? I mean, it's
Here's what I'll say though. Like, two things. Like, one, I'm disappointed for Justin because I feel like this kid is finally getting an opportunity to kind of make things his way and do things his way and grow as a distiller. So I really don't want. He's a good guy. I hope I don't see, him get stifled and not have an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah.
Second thing, I mean, Spirits of French Lick is a national brand. It's nationally known. There's a lot of people that like Spirits of French Lick. That brand, I'd hate to see it die. I hope to see it get taken over. Somebody come in, buy the brand, keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep that line alive because it is truly a Hoosier native spirit, a native distillery. That's, I'd hate to see Indiana lose that.
I would too. And
so,
the thing,
based on the Black Forest history.
yeah, I
right?
mean, if you go through, and that's one thing I think Alan did the best there was, obviously his distilling is great, but he actually told the history of the Black Hills through his bottles.
So Black Hills or Black Forest?
Or I'm sorry, Black Forest.
Yeah.
Black Forest.
I couldn't remember.
No,
I thought it was
you're
Black
right.
Forest.
You're right. I said that wrong.
Black.
The Black
Black-
Forest.
Black place in the southern part of
But it was,
Indiana.
all his bottles are named after historical events or historical people involved in that in southern
the
Indiana. It's like-
distillation,
and I hope that doesn't go away. And if it does go away with French Lick, I hope Alan's able to maybe resurrect that with some of his stuff. Although I know he's trying to separate himself, so that's a hard thing to pull back in. But
right.
But he is the historian down there for all that. I mean, he's actually a registered, certified historian for the Black Forest. So
Maybe he'll just buy all their equipment.
I don't know, man. They pretty much set him up with anything he wanted at the new place.
Yeah, and him and his dad built everything. So
yes, he did.
yeah, it means a little more at that point for sure. But it would be
like
would
you
be
said,
cool to
hopefully
see it.
Justin gets picked up by somebody.
I do
He
too.
should.
Yeah,
He absolutely should. I mean, he's
Well,
got.
We'll have to hook up with him again here soon. I haven't seen him in a little while, so we'll see
yeah.
what
We'll have
he's
to
up
get
to
the full
next.
story from him and see what's happening. So.
And again, we don't want to throw anybody under the bus because I mean, there's always two sides to every story. But
Well, they're running a business, right? So
They
they've
are.
got to look at it and figure out what's going to financially work for them. So it's,
Yeah.
they took a big step, I'm sure, in moving from just wine to
I am sure.
distillery.
I mean, I know all those folks down there, and I think it was probably a very difficult, painstaking decision to scale back on production like that, and they have their reasons, like you said, they're running a business. And,
Yeah.
And maybe just going back to some core products, they might have enough sitting in barrels right now to meet their demands for
they've
a while.
got a lot. That's the one
Yeah.
thing too is like I'm kind of thinking about maybe seeing if Dirk wants to go down there and get one of those tequila brandy barrels.
well, we definitely need. I
man.
want to go get one.
I would
I'm
love
down.
to.
Yeah.
You've
that's our
have
podcast
you had our
pick.
brandy on the bar?
Yeah.
That came from Alan. That came
Oh,
from
shit.
Spirits of French
Okay.
Lick.
Yeah, that
and
stuff's good.
He's got some stuff in tequila barrels down there that honestly was my favorite. The only reason we didn't
My
pick it is
favorite.
because not only are you trying to introduce people to brandy, you're also trying to not combine that with tequila, which is also kind of off-putting to some people.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying. So that's why we got these, and I think the tequila barrels would be fantastic. My God, you could make a. Could you imagine a margarita with that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
I
you-
mean, hazmat, but
Yeah.
You talked about doing our pick, and maybe we go to French Lick and do a.
now
Do a
we got some
podcast
other
pick.
things in line for that.
Well,
We'll get some other things in line
Okay.
for that.
yeah, that's yours, Scott.
I
We'll
assume.
talk about that later.
Yeah.
I need some more.
Yeah,
All right,
I was going to
so
say, are we
brought
drinking
some-
today?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Will brought some stuff too. So
So I brought this sample bottle of Forbidden. So Forbidden is Marianne Eve's project that she's doing down in Kentucky, and I've had to pull it up on my phone to remember. So this is, I think this was distilled out of the old Castle and Key, or the old Taylor Distillery, Castle and Key now.
Nice.
oh cool.
But this is, and it could have been a project too with BBC. I can't even remember off the top of my head, but
Well, Marion Eves, correct me if I'm wrong. She was the one that really resurrected. I mean, was a big part of resurrecting Castle and Key,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Was
Well,
she the distiller?
She was.
Yes,
Okay.
she is. She was a food science expert that's turned distiller.
She was the blonde lady in Neat.
She worked for Brown Forman, and then
That's what I thought. Yeah.
what's the other big distiller? Oh, she's a contract distiller for Sweetens Cove. Peyton.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She was the first Kentucky female master distiller, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't
And this is a mash bill. This is 95.2 proof. This is a mash bill of 75% white corn, 12% white winter wheat, and 13% malted barley.
oh
Oh wow.
And I can't. So there's 3 batches of their batch product. They do single barrels too, but I don't know which batch this is, unfortunately.
who'd you have to call to get that one? Do you just call her yourself?
Yeah, he probably just said, "Hey, I know
Yeah.
Fred."
No,
Marion."
no.
Send her a
it's,
postcard.
Are you even a Midwesterner if you don't start calling out how green the winter wheat looks once it starts getting warm out and the snow
Yeah.
starts melting? Like I always find that, like my wife and I were
100%.
driving
Like,
through
oh,
the
look at
country,
that.
so look, the winter wheat. It's,
Yep.
looking,
Yeah.
it's looking green. Spring's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm driving by and I'm like, hey, what's that?
I also sampled that. This sample she sent.
You
to
also
Club
don't know where
Marzipan,
soap comes
so-
from,
Shut
so.
Nope.
I'm sure this will be delicious.
So I've got a bottle of her single barrel. I've not tasted this one.
Oh, it smells
But
fantastic.
the single barrel's great. A little pricey. I don't know what the small batches go for, but the single barrels are around 150. I got one from Justin's down in Kentucky. They did a single barrel
cool.
pick with them, and I like it a lot. The bottle on the actual 750s has got all these sharp angles. Almost looks like a star coming down. It's a
Oh, wow.
really unique bottle shape.
Well, Mike and I were talking about that the other day. There's some really unique, cool bottles out there right now, and it's kind of funny because I mean, obviously the big guys are doing their thing. They're doing it, but the ones that Hard Truth,
Yeah.
really cool bottles.
Whiskey Gypsy's got the
Whiskey
hand-hammered
Gypsy's got them.
ones.
I'm like, it's cool to see these smaller brands saying, you know what, we got. They know they have to stand out on the shelf.
You know about the
But you
only
can do it with
bottle,
your bottles.
The only bottle that I think I'm not a fan of right now is probably anything coming out of Boundary Oak. They're so freaking big.
Yeah.
Like the War Eagle one is super cool looking. Like it's an oblong bottle, so it's really skinny, really wide. But then it's got an eagle mounted on the top. So it's a really cool bottle, but it's really hard to like handle.
Man, I'll tell you what, this does that beautiful grain forward thing that we love. I
Yeah.
mean, it's got that
Oh,
beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful caramel corn going right there. Oh, that's
That's
so good.
White corn too?
Maybe I'm almost a sweet corn. I mean, remember that sweet
Well,
corn?
he
we
said
ate
white
down-
corn in the
Yeah,
mash.
what was that mash bill again?
It's 75% white corn, 12% winter wheat, and 13% malted
Yeah, you're
barley.
definitely getting that sweet up
Yeah.
front.
Because I really like the Ben Holiday for the soft red winter.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had the white.
Well, you remember
Honestly.
remember down at Starlight, we were eating corn out of the field.
Yeah.
Literally pulled ears
Yeah, I
off.
want to share
and it
some
was
of those
so
pictures.
good. That's the flavor I'm getting right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Kind of a
Straight from the-
caramely
yeah.
version of that.
Okay.
this has got good mouthfeel.
It's got great mouthfeel.
Yeah, it's
That's what she said.
it's kind of
See, you fit right
it's
in
a
with
little
us.
it's definitely it's a little chewy too to me.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
good.
yeah, it does
dense.
kind of have a grain chew
yeah.
to it.
What's the proof?
95,
Okay.
95.2.
I was gonna say, I
that
thought it
makes
was a little
sense.
lower, but man, it's
Yeah.
delicious.
every
It's still-
batch has been proofed to 95.2. That's
Okay.
their
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
But it does
Why?
still bring a nice kind of slightly tannic, not in an ethanol.
No, you're just
way.
tasting the wood.
This one's a little bit more wood,
Yeah.
without being aggressively oaked.
Yeah.
Well, if I
It's-
remember right, in that documentary, Neat. If you haven't seen that, guys, go out. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Awesome. I mean, incredible. You got Marion Eves in there. You got Jackie Zykan. You got a bunch of other people they're interviewing, and she goes through the process of fields and going out and working with local farmers all the way through the distillate process. But shit, I just lost my freaking train of thought. God damn it!
Sorry.
It sucks getting old, man. But that show is actually something that I think everybody that's a bourbon lover needs to go out and
It's,
check
it's,
out.
a, it's a fun
Definitely.
little
It's a-
documentary.
yeah.
It's a great documentary.
It really is.
I can't wait to
this-
share my shit with you guys.
This is 5+ years, by the way. I think that's the age statement on this.
Is it
5. Wow.
is it just me? It
5+.
probably is. I don't know why. My palate seems to be favoring fruit notes over the last 2 to 3 weeks for some reason. I don't know why.
Bunch of dessert pierogies.
I did not have one dessert pierogi, but
man.
I don't know.
Damn.
But I'm
You're
kind of
craving
getting
them.
on the long finish. It's almost like that hint of blueberry and lemon peel.
Oh,
I
like a
definitely see the
cobbler.
lemon peel.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
blueberry
like a
is, I
cobbler.
think I'm probably imagining it because of the lemon peel, because blueberry and
Blueberry
lemon
lemon
goes
peel,
together. So
perfect together. Yeah.
So we could guess the let's guess the batch based off of the notes, okay? Batch 1, nose, sorghum and pecan, hits of citrus oil and vanilla bean, leather, and tobacco leaf. Taste, sweet confectionery notes, orange zest, buttercream, subtle nuts and spices, finish warm and lingering creamy texture. All right, that's batch 1.
Okay.
Batch 2, nose, sweet vanilla and sugar cookie, red fruit. I don't get that on the nose. Citrus and gentle baking spice, subtle tobacco and leaf. Taste is luxurious, creamy vanilla cake, lemon oil, and buttery pecan. Finish, smooth, warm, long, sweet.
They're right. And this is batch 2, right?
That's batch 2. And no, we don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we don't know which one
That's what I'm
this
saying.
is.
Let's
Oh.
guess which one it is. And then batch 3, sweet floral, spice and oak, dried tobacco, leaf, and citrus. Taste is warm spice, sorghum, oak sugar, dried fruit, and baked bread. And then the finish is creamy butter, sweet, lingering warm.
Final Third Cigar is Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. Come to Final Third for a selection of over 20 different Aladino cigars, including the Cameroon, a wonderful cigar with nice light flavors. Make sure and visit Final Third, the Aladino exclusive cigar lounge for Indiana.
I don't get any floral off of this one.
Yeah, I don't think it's just 3, but it could be 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I'm
going with 2.
I'm leaning towards probably 2, but I
leaning
think
towards
1's
1,
close.
but
I was kind of leaning towards 1, but
Both
you
of
said
them are very
almond,
similar.
right?
Yeah.
You had
no.
one?
The nose is sorghum and pecan.
Pecan.
But the taste on this one is sweet confectionery notes, orange zest, buttercream, subtle nuts and spices. And then the palate on batch 2 is luscious, creamy vanilla cake, lemon oil, buttery pecan.
And that's 1 or 2.
That's 2.
See, that's where I think that's where I'm at.
yeah,
I think
it
I'm at
could
2.
be.
Are you
Yeah.
getting? I
I'm
didn't just get
definitely
as
leaning
much
2.
vanilla.
But I'm getting that kind of that cakey with the lemon zest and all that in there.
The lemon
really
is
well.
where I'm
I mean,
still
I'm thinking
on
of
the-
those. Remember those lemon bars, but not the super crazy sweet ones. More lemony, less than the sweet. What they put on top of those. Oh fuck, what's that called? Words.
Vanilla.
on lemon.
Yeah,
Like
don't
lemon
they
cake, lemon
usually put
bars?
like an icing or something on top?
Usually,
or
I
something?
think
Meringue.
it's just powdered sugar. isn't
Powdered
it?
sugar and water where they
Yeah,
thinking
confectioner-
meringue?
Yeah.
Confectioner
I'm not
sugar.
getting near as much of the confectionery, but I'm getting a lot of that lemon bar.
Well,
in it.
confectionery sugar. I mean, if you make it into icing, then it gets kind of sickly sweet. But if you just
That's
have
what I
it
mean.
as dusted on there,
That might be
it
enough.
really supports that kind of lemon note.
I had that shit on my
Well,
pancakes today.
And that's
Yeah,
where I
there
was.
you
That's
go.
where I was going earlier. That I totally lost my train of thought. I think Marion was in that interview. She was talking about, a lot of people will release it at barrel proof, or they'll proof it down to 80 proof or whatever. She said, the key isn't just to proof it down to a number. The key is to figure out what the number represents the palate you're looking for, and with her saying 95.2, maybe by the basis of what they're actually distilling, that's where the water brings it down to the flavor profile they're trying to come up with. This is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Well,
this
I really like it with the cigar because I'm in, the second third, like heavily into it. And all those top notes have kind of come off because, as you get deeper into the cigar, you tend to pull out more, of the dark notes. You can get into the black pepper, things like that. But what I like is this pairing in the second third.
Yeah.
It's bringing that sweetness back into the cigar, that
Yeah.
fruit note back into it. And so it's kind of like you're extending what you got at the beginning of the cigar into the second
now.
third.
So take a puff, and then take a sip, and what I get is lemon bar with the cookie base to it.
Like a
You
graham.
you get that kind of graham cookie, not
Yeah.
super sweet cookie, but that almost
like a moist graham.
almost like a Biscoff cookie kind of thing underneath it.
Oh yeah.
That's really nice
I'm with
together.
you. I'm going to change my tune. I think it is batch 2. Yeah.
I think it is as
Yeah, the
well.
more I
Well,
taste
didn't
it-
batch one say orange peel?
Yeah, I just don't get the orange.
I don't
think
get orange
this
at
is
all.
leaning towards lemon.
It's definitely more citrusy than
So,
that.
all right, we're going with
So
batch
is
two.
this is there a way to buy bottles of this stuff?
Absolutely, yeah.
God, I want to bottle this for my home shelf, man. This is
Okay.
delicious.
Yeah.
Is it distributed to bars too or not? Do you know?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I'm not sure. We'll find out.
We'll have to figure that out because
Yeah.
this, I mean, honestly, this would be a great one to give someone that's maybe newer to whiskey that wants
Yeah.
to try a little higher proof than 80 proof. This would be
It's
fantastic.
got a lot of good notes
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, we'll just call his guy.
yeah.
This is
Just call
definitely
Marion
one.
and find out where it is.
This is one that could go for somebody that is not a proof hound, right? That is, hey, I just got in.
Yeah,
I'm
that's not
I love
Basil Hayden.
Blanton's,
Well,
right? I
that's
love
something
Eagle
that,
Rare, that
you know,
typical stuff, and then you could introduce them to this and go, hey,
This
look,
is what
there's
can
other
happen.
stuff.
Yeah. That's one thing that Fingers Malloy used to do on the Eat Drink Smoke podcast a lot. I haven't heard as much lately, but they used to always say, "Is this a bottle you could put on a table at any event and everyone can enjoy?" This is that.
I think so.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is
100%.
something that someone that does not drink a lot of bourbon could enjoy. Someone that enjoys a lot of bourbon would enjoy this as well.
I
This
still
is a
pick up
crowd
the wheat
pleaser.
qualities, even though I can definitely tell that there's some wheat in there.
I do too. Definitely on the nose.
but not in
yeah.
a bad way.
Yeah, no, not in
Yeah,
a bad
Because
way. at all.
I'm not a huge
I know.
wheater guy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this actually it balances out.
And
perfectly.
maybe it's the different type of wheat too, because like I don't think I've ever had anything that had white winter wheat.
White and white corn. I haven't had
And
one
white
with
corn.
white corn.
Is it
No.
white winter wheat?
Yeah.
Is that what they
White
called it?
corn
Yeah.
and
White
white winter
corn.
wheat.
Huh.
Yeah. I also, this is
I don't
a
know
bit
a lot
interesting
about wheat.
because I'm not usually like a straight bourbon and food. Like barbecue, definitely. Right, I can do barbecue and bourbon all day long, but lots of times bourbon can have such an aggressive flavor. Trying to pair it with some things can be a little bit difficult at times. I could absolutely see this. Like I would drink this and have like spinach artichoke dip. Because kind of some of the earthy notes you get from spinach and artichoke, but also lots of times it's kind of a cream base that goes in there. So I like to put nutmeg whenever I'm doing anything that's got, spinach and cream in it. And that would kind of tie right into this. And,
Yeah.
sometimes when you're having like a little spinach or asparagus or something, you put a little lemon juice on it.
Yeah.
This is actually something I could see going with some food.
I could see this
Calamari.
also going to somebody that's a wine person, and you put this on the table and let them do some sipping
Sweeter
of this.
qualities.
Yep.
I think this could turn a wine person into a bourbon lover.
Totally agree.
Right on.
We went to Harry and Izzy's yesterday for lunch with Jen's aunt, and they were all ordering
Aunt?
drinks.
Aunt?
I say
Aunt?
aunt.
Is
He's-
that
he was born in Vermont.
Aunt?
Yeah.
so
Aunt.
this
Is
I'm
is
it
from the
aunt?
north.
Indiana's aunt?
Yeah, here in the Midwest, that's an
Kentucky.
ant.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
semantics.
I'm just messing with you,
Whatever. I
Kentucky
can't read
boy.
a map.
My
I don't know how
wife
to
will
read
always.
it right.
My wife is from Indiana, but lived on the East Coast for like 11 years, and
Right.
she grew up there as a teenager. And the first time she said something about she lives with her Aunt Rose, and a girl turns to her and goes, "You step on an ant, you have an aunt."
Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh wow, you
And
are
I color with-
definitely in Connecticut.
And I color with crayons, not crowns. So whatever.
Crayons?
Crown goes on your head.
Crayons.
You draw with a crayon.
Crayons.
Crown goes on your head.
Anyways, we were at lunch with Jen's kin. Is that better?
Jen's
There you go. That works.
Now you're
kinfolk.
Midwest.
So we were out to lunch with her kinfolk, and the bartender or the server's coming around. He's like, "What do you guys want to drink?" And I just wanted water. I wasn't drinking yesterday, and I was like, "I'll have a bourbon. Hold the corn." He was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm just water, bud. That's cool." He just looked at me like I was an idiot. I was like, "Oh, and
Dude, man, you should have tried. So Harry and Izzy's just got the Uncle Near's single barrel.
Oh,
yeah, he was
single
pushing
barrel.
that.
Yeah.
He was pushing that one.
That's damn, I should have brought that today. Man, that is good.
Is that at all their
really
store,
good.
like 1933, all
Yeah,
of them?
yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. It should
HC
be.
Tavern too.
HC,
Probably.
HC has everything the 1933 and
Oh,
and
she already
Harry
has
has
it,
all that,
yeah.
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 Heck yeah.
But I know Harry and Izzy's definitely has it. But
They have a good old fashioned. I really like
their.
their old fashioned. It's actually really good.
Hey, speaking of nice restaurants,
I've had
so Janelle obviously at the Pierogi Fest, and Janelle's sister Pat went with us, and we ended up going out to a pretty nice restaurant, Theo's Steakhouse up in Hammond. And when they start telling you the specials, and you've been out kind of having beers and stuff all day, and you just are like, I'm not even asking what the price is.
Yeah, I just wanted something good.
Ask the price.
Oh, really?
What'd you get? What'd you get?
Janelle and I got the same thing because they had a special of Alaskan king crab and a petite fillet.
Double
I mean, it was
whammy.
special,
the
but
price of that.
Double
You know,
whammy.
I thought it'd be $90 or something, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 150.
food.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was
Wow.
like a $600 meal.
right.
And we get the bill, and I'm just like, oh,
Was this a higher end than 1933 and all
no,
those
it's about the
places?
same.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
same kind of place. Yep. I mean, look, it was delicious.
I'm sure it
A-
was.
And the king crab. I mean, I just love king.
It was
crab,
worth
so
it.
It was totally worth
It's
it.
never
Yeah.
not worth it.
I'm
Yeah.
not complaining, but
Right.
especially like if we had thought it through and been like, okay, it's a pound of king crab and like a 6-ounce fillet.
And we just ate our weight in pierogies
Maybe
all
we
day.
should have split one. We could have just split it. And yeah,
I don't know. See,
Yeah.
I always get the seafood tower. Anywhere that offers a seafood tower, that's
man,
what I'm getting.
I love a seafood
And I've been
tower.
digging in slapfish
Rubies.
a lot recently, and their seafood
Yeah.
tower is like $240, but it comes with a whole pound of crab legs and a whole lobster. Most places are like you get a chunk of lobster, and then you get a quarter pound of legs, and then some clams and all this other stuff. No, you get a pound of like literally everything.
If you
There's
get
a
the
place
whole,
we need to
Yeah.
go to as a group, by the way. If we want to do a seafood tower and do it right, Noah Grant's in Zionsville
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
has one of the
Road trip.
best
It's a good place,
seafood
I've heard
towers.
that's fire.
Oh yeah, their raw bar and seafood towers are crazy. The other good one,
I just
even though
always
it's
wanted
a
seafood.
national-ish type chain, is Ocean Air.
Yeah.
Ocean Air
okay.
We've
seafood
been to that
tower
one.
is awesome. I love that they put the lump crab,
Yeah.
like just the lump chunks, and you get like a little bowl of just lump crab with that Southwest style.
So good.
and if
sauce.
you really want to go somewhere good, there's this place called Red Lobster. That's fun.
Oh, man. You can pick your own lobster out of that.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. It's great.
I thought they quit doing that.
They did
I
quit
don't
doing
know.
that. You
Well, they
can't
quit
do that
doing it
anymore.
'cause they-
I haven't been to Red Lobster in
filed
years.
for bankruptcy, but
Yeah.
that's why, because you could pick your lobster out of there.
Dude.
Hey, shout out to their cheddar biscuits. They
Oh,
are the bomb.
They are still the best. Yeah. I actually went, I had not been to Red Lobster in probably like 15 years. And after they went, declared bankruptcy, I thought, well, look, that was bad financial decisions, doing the unlimited crab for like $25 or
Right.
something.
Yeah.
It was like
And,
Krabby
yeah.
Mondays or some shit.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they were like, wow, people can eat a lot more crab than what we thought.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah,
they got
no
bought
shit.
by like a Taiwanese company or something.
Some
That's
shit,
who
yeah.
owns Red Lobster
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
And they just didn't understand like the American,
Yeah,
ability
sorry.
to
Americans
to
can
crush
eat
some
Eat,
food.
eat some crab legs.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, how is it? Cheddar biscuits obviously were awesome. But I did feel like I stepped back into 1986 when I went in, right? Because it still looks that way.
Same
Same decor, yeah.
Like every Chinese
Same
buffet.
thing. Exactly. And the food was fine. I mean, it wasn't, it's not anything I'm going to write home about.
So when
I
you're
guess
eating the Cheddar Bay biscuits, do you ever just like get really quiet and listen to your arteries clogging?
no, I try not to, but
can hear
yeah,
the
that's
stroke,
a good
right?
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Talking
things
about not asking the price. So we were in Costa Maya, Mexico a few years ago, right? And we go do this dive trip, and we're messing around with the lobsters that are down there, the warm water lobsters in the Caribbean, right? So we're messing around with those under the water and whatever, and putting them back under their little rock or whatever. Which I don't think you're supposed to do that, but we did it. So we get back,
Lick it and
and
chuck
Costa
it.
Maya it's a village, right? It's not. There's nothing there. Okay, so we get back, and the guy that took us out, he's like, "Hey, this is my little restaurant. If you have lunch with us, like, it's weird down there." So each one of the little business owners, like, right there on the beach, like that's theirs. Okay, so and people are like paying to rent the little huts and the umbrellas and the bullshit and whatnot. So he's like, "Hey, if you eat lunch at my place, you can do whatever you want to do on my beach." We're like, "Sure, we're hungry." So we get menus or whatever, and they have lobster on there. I'm like, "Oh, that sounds great." And it was like whatever it was, like $9 a gram or some crap like that. I'm like, gram, ounce, it's like the same thing, right? Again, I'm from Indiana. The metric system doesn't exist to me. I'm like,
Exactly.
a gram,
Right.
ounce is probably the same thing. So I order X amount of lobster, and it was freaking delicious. But there's a whole bunch of grams in an ounce. And I don't remember what that. It's like 11.6 or some shit. I don't know. But my bill
I can
at
do
this
that
little
math.
yeah. My bill at this little village in Mexico for the 3 lobsters I ate was like $190.
3 million pesos.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Totally
But
worth it.
you get your bill and the sticker shock just hits you right in the face.
You're like, I'm going to camp on this freaking beach for
Yeah,
the next 3
he
weeks.
said I could do anything on his beach if I ate lunch here, so we're hanging out for a while.
Yeah.
So you're a high
long
roller
time.
there, spending almost
Oh,
200
absolutely,
American
like this
dollars.
guy,
They're
right?
bringing you bottle service, and they're like, "Yeah, this
That's
guy
what
is
it
it.
is,
He's
Yeah,
he's-
they're bringing
he's
out
loaded.
the buckets of beer to you while you're laying out on the
Yeah.
beach. Yeah,
one by one."
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about the stickers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got stickers now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen these
Stickers.
except by.
I will say
the
these
picture,
are.
so.
This is the first rendition, so come out and get the inaugural first edition stickers because they're going to get better. But these are the Final Third podcast stickers. So we got gray and black, and we got orange, gray, and black. So come out and get the first ones here.
They look pretty cool, but they will not look like this next time.
No, they'll be a little bit brighter next time. I was just trying them out, see how they would go, but.
I like
think
it.
I think we'll get them better. We'll probably get some die cut where it goes around things a little bit better, looks nicer. But
Yeah.
I like the red one.
that's orange. But good job.
Red. Hey, damn!
No, I will tell you.
I didn't realize I was colorblind, but you're
No,
right.
I am colorblind, so I could be wrong. I
Welcome
could
to
have
the
actually
club.
picked the wrong color.
Yeah,
but
welcome to the club.
And then
I
Scotty
don't know.
D, and
I'm
then
still
Scotty D
calling
grows
that
a beard.
red.
Right. I'm on there with the.
okay, it might be your head then. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm on there with the goatee, and now I'm growing the full beard in.
I know we're gonna have to do a new one with your beard. Then you're gonna shave it, and we're gonna like, damn it,
Yeah,
Scott.
yeah,
No, you-
probably.
I say you keep it for 5 years just to see how you like it.
Don't
You never
keep
know.
it for
man.
5 years and never trim it.
Yes.
Well, so
So tell us the story of why you're growing a beard right now.
okay, so
'Cause
I
he's a
I did
man.
He's a man.
kind of the no shave November. I don't know, 3 years ago or something. Maybe it was during COVID or something. And I thought, what the hell? I've never grown it out before, and let's see what it looks like. So I grew it out, and it was about this long, about as long as I went, and then I was done with it. But my youngest daughter is getting married in October, and she asked
Shout out to Adele.
Yep, to Adele and Casey.
Yep.
Yeah. And Casey's had a beard forever, and she said, "Dad, I'd really like you to grow a beard for the wedding." And my wife was like, "No," because she is not a fan of the beard. Although I don't know, maybe it'll grow on
It's
her.
all
We'll
right,
see.
It's okay to be wrong.
That's right. It is
Yeah.
okay to be wrong. Yeah.
That's cool, man. Marriage
That's
isn't
an
for everyone.
interesting request. Like, I would just wonder why she wants you to grow a beard. Like,
I think she's a
She must have liked
very
growing you.
old soul and a very nostalgic personality.
okay,
I mean, she goes to all these thrift shops for all of her shopping, and she finds incredible outfits. But then, it'll be, she's getting ready for bed, and she'll put on a nightgown that looks like it belongs on a 90-year-old lady
A moo-moo.
at the retirement home. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. It's just
That's
she's
cool.
just got a very nostalgic old
Nightcap.
soul, and I think that her thinking of me with that beard, that was in part of her formative years as a teenager, and she wanted to have that in pictures for her wedding.
That's
So,
cool.
very cool.
Well, that
And-
was
and-
okay.
And you know as well as I do, our daughters have us wrapped around their
Oh,
little fingers.
always.
So
no
always.
doubt.
Yeah.
You do
No
anything
matter
for 'em.
what.
Well, that was the
Does
same
not
thing
matter,
with
you do
my
anything.
middle daughter Haley. She asked me to officiate her wedding, and that was the request. Was they wanted my beard big? They wanted a big beard. So at the time, I had trimmed it down like this, and they're like, this was 6 months. They're like, "Can you grow it out big again?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I will." So, yep, I'll do.
Well,
whatever-
I've
do
never
whatever.
had a long beard before, and I'm letting everything go. So I'm going to try and get the mustache to go around. I'm gonna try not to trim the mustache, and I'm gonna do it kind of Civil War
Yeah,
style.
curl it out. Yep.
Yeah, just bring it down
To the
and
side.
to the side and have
Yep.
it become part of the beard. So
I'm actually looking to do that this time too. I haven't done that in a long, long time. So
Yep.
I'm gonna do that this time too.
I'm kind of curious, just how it's all gonna look. That's what I'm having to train it because this side has always grown straight back, and so I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna keep training it.
I will
here,
tell you
train the
right now,
mustache and
Every point you get to, and you're like, "Oh, this is driving me crazy. I better trim it." Don't
Don't
Right.
push through.
just push.
You're going
through.
to go through like this homeless stage too, where
You
you
will.
look like you live under a bridge,
Yeah.
I'm
and
still
not even
there.
in a van, like in a cardboard box.
right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
That should
Yeah.
go really well when I'm presenting to
Yeah.
CIOs for,
Absolutely.
for
It'll be
state
fine.
government.
But that's where you
Scott,
start
you
the
doing
story
okay?
off. That's where you start the story off and say, this is my daughter wants this. She's getting married, and everyone's gonna go, "Aw," and then they'll look right past the fact that it looks homeless. So
Then I get the sympathy sale.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It works.
God,
I'll
that
take
kid
it.
loves his daughter so much. We should buy from him.
Or they send you a resignation
It's
draft.
only $4.5 million. That's it. That's all I need.
Sign on the dotted line.
You'd be fine. You'd be fine.
No, I'm liking it, man.
Yep. It's
And
a
if
work
you
in
decide
progress.
you want to keep it down the road, don't listen to your wife. Listen to us because we have
Of course.
we're a much
Yeah.
better influence on than your wife.
No question.
Just keep it. Just keep it.
You guys, help me drink more. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Drink.
Drink.
I am curious how that's going to work with smoking cigars and if I'm going to be fighting around the beard hair or anything.
Not really.
Yeah, I haven't seen
I will
anybody
tell you
else
one
with
thing.
that, so-
Okay, I will tell you one thing. Your beard or your mustache is darker.
Yes.
Mine being lighter, I do get occasionally if I get to smoking the cigar in the exact same spot in my mouth, I'll get a little dark spot from where I'm smoking just from the tobacco.
Yeah,
Well,
It
I
is
don't know
what
what
it
the
is.
hell's
it's
up
usually
with.
just right here.
I got
right-
weird patches. So like
right there.
Like what the hell's this? You
Your
can't
dark
really
patch?
tell. I got a dark patch on this
Oh,
side over
dude.
here. It's so bizarre. And I
That's
got one,
the-
I think, over here on my mustache. It's like I've got two sections that's still
That's-
completely black, and somebody's like, "You're gonna get like
It's called character.
That's
colored
the-
in or
that's
whatever."
the-
I'm like,
that-
hell no.
That's the 30-year-old Scott hanging on by a thread.
That's
Yes,
it.
exactly
That's
what it is.
exactly it. The last of my 30s sitting
Yep.
on my
He's
face.
saying, I'm not gone yet. Baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm old man down here now, but I still got the 30-year-old hair on top.
Well, it's
so-
gonna be really weird if it grows in and all of a sudden the black starts growing gray, and I've got like a black patch in my beard down here, and the rest of it's all
Be
gray.
sweet.
It'll,
Racing
it'll,
Shrek.
it'll work out. It'll look
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
I got
look
like
great.
4 white hairs. One's like right here. One's like right here. And they just keep showing up.
Yeah, Lisa has this game where she tries to find the one gray hair on my head, and she always finds it and she plucks it.
Yeah, then 2 more come back.
It's just one hair, honey. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, that's how Jen started. Hers is turning gray.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she's
I
got
used to have
she's
this
got a stripe.
one, like almost like Donald Trump white hair that would grow in my eyebrow. She always called it the Bobby Knight back in the day. I had one gray hair and I would just leave it. I mean, literally in just a few weeks it'd be like that long hanging off the side of my eyebrow. And she would get so pissed and pull that thing out. I'm like, that hurts when you're not expecting it. She's up there going like that, all of a sudden, I'm like, ow. All right, I
That's-
guess
that's painful.
Let's move on. Let's move
Well,
on.
that's what we're all kind of talking about. That it's like talking about the self-care stuff, and
yeah.
we got to do the pedicure,
Pedicure.
show.
Yes, we do.
I'm due.
I am badly due.
I'm due.
Yeah, I talked about it last week that I was due. So
I'm
Yeah.
like 50 years due on the pedicure.
yeah, yeah. it's-
Okay,
it's
there's a
time.
question for you. Do you? I mean, I know you're a man, but do you do pedicures like
I've
we do?
never done a pedicure in my
How
life.
dare you?
I will
assume
tell
his
you right
gender.
now,
Ever.
you'll do one, and
And
you'll never
that's-
cut
You're
your own
probably right.
toenails
That's all
again.
you'll
You're
ever
probably
do.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I've never fucking done it.
When you got an Asian woman down there at your feet, just rubbing your feet and
Talking
your
shit
legs
about you in
and
another language.
cleaning everything up. Oh my God, it's awesome.
Yeah, never done it.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't really pay attention. I mean, especially when they're using like the cheese grater on your
All right,
ankles
here's
kinda
my
thing,
thing,
if
right?
you're-
all
I'm not
good.
against the pedicure part. I don't like people touching my feet. Like
Oh,
that's my
God.
issue. Like I don't want anyone touching my feet. Like,
After-
Becky tries to run my feet at home sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I'm in for like a minute. I'm like, all right, that's good. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. All better.
I don't know, man.
Uh,
You go walk around New Orleans, and I know you're down there from time to time.
Oh,
you're
they-
walking around all day, and then they've got the
They
foot
try
massage
to
places.
snag you in every.
Yeah,
every
it's like
corner in there.
$15 or something. You give them a $5 tip, so $20 for 20 minutes or something.
It's like the perfume people at
Oh
the
my
mall.
goodness, it
Yeah.
is the best. You've been walking all day. You've been, maybe you've been out having drinks and cigars and all that stuff, and you know that you're going to be going out for the evening and having dinner, and it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. You just pop in one of those places for 20 minutes, and you're just right as rain when
You're
you come
set.
out.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else did you bring? What's this other bottle? Is that
so,
Rural In?
Yeah. The last thing I brought, it's totally switching gears. This is not bourbon or whiskey. This is rum.
Ooh.
See if I can grab it.
but it's cast strength rum.
We definitely like cast strength rum.
Damn, you guys are making me
Always
shoot
good.
my whiskeys.
I mean, we got a dump cup, Rob.
No, I'm not a quitter.
I have to be conservative.
Spitters
All
or
right.
quitters.
Let me get my spectacles on here. So this is called Lost Cask Collection. This is by Rolling Fork Spirits. So this is an independent bottler that got a hold of a lot of aged rum. They're storing this down at Starlight. Okay. So all these barrels are rum barrels are down at Starlight, and Ray down at Rural Inn got hooked up with these guys and did a bunch of cask strength rum picks with him. So he has like 4 of these. So there's a Barbados rum. There's Jamaican. He's got a couple of them. But this is a 18-year single barrel cask strength Fiji. And this is 18 years distilled in Fiji. And this is 64.5% ABV.
Shoo.
And this was one of Ray's picks. And I thought it was outstanding.
Does Ray still have those?
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah.
What's
you can go in
Ray
and get
say?
these. But again,
Which, by the way, Ray, Rural Inn, downtown Indianapolis. If you haven't been down there and you're a whiskey lover or just like finding unique barrel picks, he's always got a bunch of them on the shelf down there.
and Ray's
his prices are
celebrating
good.
his 40th year of running the Rural Inn and being there.
Damn.
Or I don't know if he's running it, but being at Rural Inn or running Rural Inn or owning Rural Inn. I mean, these guys are kind of a legacy in Indiana and Indianapolis.
And I will say, lock your doors.
Best to go before 8 p.m.
It's always good to go during the
little
daylight,
sketchy.
but it's a great place to get
but
barrel
it is
picks.
pretty much right off of the interstate. I mean,
It is.
you're a mile south
hell,
or something.
Just
Not
go
even
go
that.
down there, grab you a couple bottles, and go over to Bottle Works and enjoy a good meal.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But this is what I like to call real rum, good rum.
Red rum.
Red rum.
Red rum.
Now, what always gets me about rum is
We'll go this way.
The-
It'll be easier to pass it.
the age statements, like all the rules. There are no technically any rules for rum.
Right.
So you got to be a little bit cautious and hopefully you know where you're getting it from and who's supplying it, because you'll see some rums out there, especially if you're on vacation, you're down in the rum area, and they'll just put whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whatever on there. They could be like, yeah, sure, it's 18. We put 1 drop of 18 and the rest of it's 2 years old,
And
right?
to that
Yeah.
point, that's exactly why I got this, because I knew it was the pure spirit from the barrel. There's not been sugar added to this. There's not been coloring added to this. This is straight rum out of the barrel. So it's as pure as it's going to get for rum standards.
Well,
Excellent.
and Ray kind of knows what he's doing here and there.
A little bit.
He does a little bit.
Little bit. You know, the best thing
Not
about it
only-
is when he gets so many barrels that any of them that don't go right off the shelf after, I mean, it's just a few weeks.
Yeah.
He'll just start discounting them. I mean, I remember I got 2
Yeah.
Peerless Ryes down there, and I think he had them down to like $69.99.
Oh, damn, that's half price.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you just gotta, it's worth stopping in there once
Well,
every 4 to 8 weeks.
And Ray has a really good palate, but he also has a really good team that goes on his picks with him. He's got like 3 or 4 guys that do most of his picks with him, and they all have really unique palates. So he always comes up with something special.
Yeah, you're gonna get something that you've not had before.
Yeah. So I've got 2 of these, but I fell in love with this Fiji. I mean, it's complex to me.
I love the nose. I haven't even got into
Yeah.
it yet, but the nose is awesome.
Wow. That finish on that is long.
Yeah, I'm not a rum
Wow.
drinker, but this is good.
Yeah, I'm not a huge rum drinker either, but when you find something a little higher proof, I think that's where I start liking them a lot. I talk about the one that we tasted at PCA. It's Leon Jimenez out of the Dominican, I believe. It's going to be coming to the States here soon. It's probably the best rum I've had at that under 100 proof range. But man, some of these ones we've been trying lately, these barrel proof ones, I'm like, man, I really love rum.
Well, the finish on this is just, to me, is what gets me. Like, that finish just lasts forever.
Yeah.
Like,
It
I
does.
still feel it. Like,
It keeps going.
It's so complex on the number of fruits in my brain right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
at
all over
first
the
you're
place.
like that. Okay, there's that sweet Fiji apple in there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, here's other fruits. Like I don't even know what. I mean, I'm tasting plum. I'm tasting so many different fruits right now.
I think this is
really nice.
real heavy on plum.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially once you get the kind of ethanol burn off, it just kind of lays on your palate like just a really nice ripe Indiana plum.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, really good. Thanks for bringing that in, Will, because that's tasty.
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yeah, I really like it. He did a good job picking that barrel.
You know, most of the time you don't drink rum because this kind of rum isn't really,
Readily.
it hasn't been readily available, right? It's
Right.
not been totally accessible, and most of the time rum is just good for rum drinks.
Yeah.
Right.
It's great for cocktails, right? Fruity cocktails. You know, my personal favorite, I talk about it occasionally, is the daiquiri.
Yeah.
Not
The
the
original.
icy, the original daiquiri. And
Which is a
it's-
super simple cocktail to make.
Yeah. Simple syrup, lime juice, and white
And
rum.
That's it.
And you just shake it, and
But can you
Serve it
imagine
up.
what this would do on that?
Oh my god.
this would be.
I mean, it's not white rum, so it's not going to look as clean and clear.
And honestly, I would not put much of either lime or simple, just enough to make it into a cocktail.
Probably half of
And
each.
I would say, yeah, just that way you still let the actual rum really blossom in
Yeah.
flavor.
This would be a good one in the summer at that higher proof to just throw over an ice cube and just have sitting outside by the pool.
Yeah, sometimes that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I don't want a heavy bourbon,
Yeah.
but I want to taste something, and I want to have it like, I mean, this is my go-to.
And that's the thing about most rums are so low proof that you throw it over water by the time you start, or over ice, by the time you start drinking it, it's already down to 60 proof or under. It's like, it's watered down. This one would handle it like a
Yeah.
champ.
But I get that nutmeg spice
Yeah.
that I love in a good rum. That really shines through on the palate, too.
I was expecting being something like Fiji's. I was expecting maybe a little more of the rum funk. There's no
none in
funk.
there.
There's
It's not a
nothing.
Jamaican
It's
rum.
all
Yeah.
sweet. It's all
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I'm not big into rum either.
You
I
are
just-
now.
I mean, like the Moondrops one that we tried, the cash drink rum there, that was fantastic.
This one kind of
is-
holds up to that for me.
Yeah, I mean that's got the same qualities, and it's got to just be the higher proof stuff because it has more characteristics that
Yeah.
make it a little
And,
more palatable.
and more wood, longer wood,
I like long
being
wood.
aged longer, a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
You
think
like
deep
long
wood.
Deep
Yeah,
wood,
long.
I think the story, though, is whoever bought all these rum barrels to sell, whoever owns Lost Cask, I mean, they got all these, they're kind of like orphan barrels, right, that they found, and didn't know a lot about them. And I'm sure there's some that, maybe are hit or miss on the barrel, but, one thing you can say with the guys at Rural Inn, when they do a barrel pick, I don't question their
No.
barrel picks.
No,
Man,
never.
They're always
Never.
spot on.
Well,
You may not like it, and that's okay,
Yeah,
but you're
right.
going to be like, this is different. This
I
is
still say,
something-
if you ever had any of the Heaven's Door products, if you've never had Ray's Oily
The oily
mess,
mess, oh my God.
that was the best Heaven's Door I've ever had by
I
far.
haven't tried that.
I mean, it's so thick and viscous mouthfeel. It's got all that going, but the flavor on it is
Well,
kinda
he
like
sold,
this.
so he sold out of that.
Yeah.
And Brandon Whistler, shout out Brandon.
Yeah,
everybody.
Brandon.
Brandon was kind of downsizing his, his whiskey.
Oh, you got
and
it.
I got that. Brandon had like an oily mess that was like 3/4 full, and I'm like, hey, I want that bottle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
it was
got
good.
that from Brandon.
I kicked myself in the butt for not buying that bottle when I was down there, but good stuff. Yeah.
and he always has, like, for most of those, they have it for you to try
yes.
while you're down there.
In
Yeah.
either
It's
barrel
not like
picks.
you're just blind buying it.
Every
any of
one
the
of his
barrel
picks,
picks.
unless they're the allocated picks that he
Right,
does,
right.
but all of their general store picks, every single one of them you can
Yeah.
try.
And literally just go up to any, if you go into his store, I mean, it literally is an old school store. If you go down to the left, you're going to get your Fireballs and all the bullshit. But if you go to the right and around the corner there, you see that big wall, and they're all his barrel picks.
Yeah.
And there's usually somebody back there that will give you a sample to try it. And I mean, hell, nothing better than be able to try before you buy and something like that. So
100%.
good stuff.
Does
I'll
he
tell
ever
you,
do events of any type down there, or is he
Every
just
Saturday,
Yeah,
every Saturday.
First month of every Saturday, they do a tasting. Yeah.
the first month
The
of every
first
Saturday?
month of every Saturday. There's a month in a Saturday.
first Saturday of every month.
Yeah. First month and every
Like, I got my
Saturday. Like I
calendar
said,
month,
hey
yeah.
guys,
Wow,
I said
damn.
it correctly. I don't know what y'all are doing. First
Cash
month
Springs
and every
World.
Saturday, they.
Yes. Damn, that's a lot of Saturdays.
Well, on that note,
just in January.
we all know where I'm at right
So
now.
I will tell you, if these two together is like that, you remember someone bringing a rum cake to a family outing,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's so freaking wet, it's dripping off the side of it. That's this.
Yeah.
It's got that raisiny quality and all those things that go in a rum cake, but it's heavy rum.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Thank you to sponsor Deadwood Live. Derek with Deadwood Live is producing top quality live edge products as well as bourbon themed furniture. If you've been in the lounge, you've seen the custom live edge table and barrel stools produced by Derek. Be sure to give him a like and follow on Facebook at Deadwood Live. That's D-E-D Wood Live.
Wow.
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 Yeah, I will say
It's good.
the longer that this cigar goes, it changes, but really all it is to me is it's dropping notes, right?
Yeah.
All the high notes, the fruits, the citrusy, all that stuff, whatever you could get out of this cigar, and it's getting down to kind of that base tobacco element where you're getting to
And
your
it could
point,
be the
cakey.
sweetness out of this too.
It
might be
could
doing
be,
it.
but I do think that the cigar absolutely it's nice that way though.
Yeah.
Because I love a cigar that transitions. I mean, sometimes they're single note, but anytime that they transition, sometimes it's getting new and different flavors. Sometimes it's just the loss of some flavors, which brings up, the ones that were there at the beginning, but they just weren't as prominent.
Well, and it's also a good point whenever you're sitting around at home and you're smoking a cigar, get 2 or 3 bottles and try different things with the cigar. And instead of doing 2 ounces each time, maybe do a half an ounce for each one, and you'll find that you're going to pull different things out of the cigar by doing that. And it makes it fun to figure out what pairing is what you're really looking for in that moment.
I kind of felt like with the rum that I was trying to get some almost chocolate notes out of the cigar, but they're just not there.
They're not.
No, I feel like it should be, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's,
now with
it's
the
really
ZDT.
staying.
Yeah, the
no, it's
ZDT
really
is
staying
more
with
like
that
a
cake and
bread.
Yeah, the
yeah,
bready.
cakey, like sourdough
I'm
almost.
getting more
so-
pepper out of this with the rum.
It
The
does
retro
drop
hill-
into some pepper.
The retro hill is like really progressed.
Yeah.
From a very mild white, like you say, a white pepper to second, third, a good black pepper dose. Now I'm getting red pepper.
Yeah.
It does get a little spice to it at
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah,
Yep.
the second third is like a really heavy like peppercorn.
Yeah.
Like raw peppercorn.
It's kind of funny how you can like you think maybe something should be there, or you think it's going
You
to transition.
want it to be there.
You almost want it to be
Yeah.
there, but it's just not.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not.
I went through
there.
my last CDT. I had a box of these at home, and I went through my last one finally, and so I've been smoking these for a month or so now, and so these are one of my daily smokes, and
They're so good.
they're phenomenal.
Well, and if you're if you're listening to this, we do have I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 more bundles of these left. If you do want the entire kit, you're getting 10% off the bundle of the cigars, plus you're getting a jar humidor, which is absolutely beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
And it works perfectly for a humidor. It seals great. I mean, I've had a couple people get them, and they're like, "That's my humidor now." I'm like, "That's great," because I mean, it's this looks like a Mexican jar you'd see
like
on
a
someone.
ceramic.
Yeah,
it's
it's ceramic.
Yeah, it is. But it's really nice if you need a humidor and you want some great cigars. I still got a couple of those left, but yeah, come get these because I would assume probably what is this? We're coming up to August now. Probably in the next couple months we'll see the next series come out.
yeah, the Oriente is the 24th. Are you getting those?
Yes,
The
yes, I've already got them on
ORTs.
pre-order. And
Yeah.
it's a unique box too. Again, these boxes that they do for the Los Ace are never great for retail, but they're really great to buy if you're looking for a good cigar with a great presentation. This one's going to have a box that when you flip it open, all the cigars stand up. So every cigar is standing up in the box. It's really cool presentation. Doesn't work on a shelf, but we'll have one displayed so people can see it.
I used to think that the packaging kind of, the more fancy the packaging, the more it denoted you're probably trying to oversell me on a product that might not be as good. I don't think that's the case anymore.
It doesn't seem to be.
I think it was 10 years ago, but
Yeah.
more and more now it seems like they're creating good products, whether it's whiskey or cigars.
Yeah.
It's just you got to have something to differentiate yourself on the shelf, and they're putting a little bit of investment. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
one of the originals that I think kind of proved that was the tequila from what's the blue and white vase?
Casa Azul.
Yes,
Casa
Class
Azul.
Azul.
Yeah.
Thank
See that
you.
everywhere now.
It is everywhere.
Yeah,
it's
now it's
absolutely
It's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people that don't necessarily love tequila like that
That's one.
tequila,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's a little sweeter. It's got kind of those rose water notes to it, and
It's funny you brought that up because I've been thinking about going down that road. But since we're drinking rum and getting away from bourbon and whiskey, you get into the nicer and the higher end tequilas. My God.
yep.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff out there.
And I will
Some really
say,
good stuff out
much
there.
like what Rob does here with setting his prices on bourbon and making it accessible,
Yes.
you know, you don't have to buy or try to find a
No.
$250, $300 bottle. You can come in here and you can have a pour for, on like something like that, 250 to 300. I think you're running about 40 or 50, maybe $60
It
depending.
just depends on the bottle.
Yeah, it depends on the bottle.
Yep.
So you do that here with all of your liquors. I will also shout out to Hacienda Vieja
Shout out.
here in Pendleton.
Best Mexican
Yep,
restaurant in our
Antonio
area.
does an incredible job, not just with the food, but his tequila selection. I don't know that I've been to any Mexican restaurant,
No.
even down in Indy, that compares to what he sells, and especially the pricing.
So if you're coming into Pendleton, it's right next door to the Needlers in the
Grocery
little
store,
plaza,
yeah.
Needler's grocery store. They have a full tequila bar plus the Mexican restaurant. Their food is always fantastic. Again, I know I'm biased. I love their food. Some of the best Mexican
Yeah.
food in our area.
And it is
But
like the
also
standard
it's the-
Mexican fare, but it's done
It is,
really well.
But it's also the people. I've got to know a lot of the family that's there. They're all amazing people. But then they opened up the other side, and they got the full tequila bar, and he's got a hell of a selection of tequila. But he also does some crazy good bottles of bourbon.
Like the barrel pick from down
Old
in
Forester.
Bloomington
Yeah.
of Old Forester.
Old Forester. I mean, that's
Yeah.
That was
really one of the
fantastic.
best
That
Old
is
Foresters
really-
that came out.
126 proof.
No, I think it's 131.
Is it? Okay.
131.
Yeah,
I thought it
like
was
131.8.
It's
Yeah.
really good. And if you ever see Scott in there, which is probably about every other day, he'll always be.
I'm either there or
starts
here,
his day
you
off.
know.
Starts his day off with a nice shot of tequila,
I don't ever know what tequila we're drinking. I just drink whatever Scott gets me.
because
Yeah.
you know it's going to be
Yeah,
good.
we're taking
Yeah.
a shot before we leave. Like
Yep, it's going to happen.
There's
every
no way
time.
around it.
Tequila
No.
kills me, but I like drinking it with this guy. So.
Yeah, I mean that's it.
Yeah.
Like
It's hey, I know quite a bit about tequila. Now he's got one bottle in there that I've never ordered it. It's like the Noble, something like that, and
Yeah.
it's like a $2,000 bottle of tequila. I think it's $100 for a shot. Which again, I mean, $100 for a shot
He's
on
not
a
making
on
his
a
money back on that bottle.
no, he really isn't. He's
No.
just cost, but
Yeah.
but he has it right, and I still kind of want to get a shot of it. I just man, that's pretty salty.
Hey, Lisa's out of town.
There you go. Well,
Just saying.
Rob's in.
yeah, sounds like it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, let's
You know
talk
me.
events real quick. We got August 7th is the Drew Estate Cut and Light event.
Yep.
That'll be our next event after this episode releases, so make sure to stop by for that. Learn
Yeah.
how to light your cigar the right way instead of blasting it right down the tip.
Yeah. Yeah, I
no
mean,
names.
cutting lights are typically just, we're going to have Ben here. Where
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, Ben is going to be here from Drew Estate. We're going to be just sitting around, just BSing with him. We'll have all the same deals we do on Drew Estate products, so you're going to get 20% off boxes. He'll, I'm sure, have some stuff too, but it's more of a casual hangout, smoke some Drew Estate stuff and just have a great night.
Yeah.
When is this one releasing? Is this
This will be the Monday before that, so the
okay? So
4th or 2nd.
we'll already be done with the Heaven Hill event.
Yep. We'll recap that one
we'll
because we'll
recap
be
that
meeting with
soon.
Jim Romanek.
Yeah, when is the Heaven Hill event?
The Heaven Hill is August 3rd.
So
August 3rd.
this'll be-
The day before this airs.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
2 days.
So make sure
before.
to
2
come
days
in
before.
here.
2 days.
Oh wait, never mind.
Nah, you can't do that.
No,
Bam,
no.
bam.
Yeah.
August 3rd, that's a Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll actually be at a real sporting event that day.
Oh, yeah?
We had a
Hockey?
English Premier soccer match.
Oh, get the
Oh,
fuck out of here.
Really?
Again,
So-
like I say all the time, soccer would be great if there was ice penalty boxes and sticks.
Less
Shrink the
players.
field down a little bit. Yeah.
Who are you going
Yeah.
to see?
We're going to go see Manchester United play Liverpool. At
Oh, dude, that'd be
That
fantastic.
would be
They're
incredible.
Where?
doing a match at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. So it's going to be my dad, my brother, me, and my son. So
Nice.
it's going to be a real fun.
You're gonna
event
paint your
for us.
faces up, aren't you?
I'm going to get crazy.
Oh hell yeah! Hell
Don't
yeah.
end up in Liverpool jail.
So I got to talk about this UFC event last night. Okay, UFC 304.
All right.
Tell us.
Since you brought up Manchester, because it was in Manchester,
Okay.
England,
didn't know
right?
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they decided to have the event happen to match the prime time of the United States, which means they didn't open the doors. It's this co-op arena,
To what, midnight?
10 o'clock at
10 o'clock
night,
at night.
and the last fight started at 5:35 in the morning.
Holy
Hell
Can
yeah.
you imagine
In Manchester or
in
here?
Manchester?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
They know where their
Yeah.
crowd's watching.
Right.
it.
I mean,
yeah.
but it was obviously sold out, and the crowd, props to them because it was quiet sometimes. I mean, come on, it's like 2, 3 in the morning. It's
Yeah.
it's really hard to get excited for anything at that time unless you've been out drinking all night, which you're at a UFC fight, so you probably been
You're
drinking all night.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the crowd really came through, and it was there was a lot of people really bashing the card. I think it might have been one of the best UFC events I've ever seen.
Really? Oh,
It
wow.
was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the fights were just unbelievable. Even the ones that go to the scorecard. Sometimes they go to the scorecard, and you're like, did both those fighters really put it out there? There was probably only one of those last night. The rest of them that went to scorecard, even the last fight, I mean, it was bloody. It was super bloody.
Wow.
It was kind of crazy because the co-main event was for the interim heavyweight, and Curtis Blades, man, he came out, and I thought, oh, he's looking a little old. He's looking a little old, and it was exactly 1 minute. That's how long it lasted. Was exactly 1 minute, and Curtis Blades went down in a knockout. Took a hard left and then a right, and that was it. So it was a good night of fights. Props to those people staying up all night.
That's how they do it. They're used to going to like nightclubs and shit there anyways, so
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, they're just
You need
hitting it
another one?
different.
I will, yeah.
Yeah, well, let me borrow your cutter when you're done because I brought all my shit, but I guess I left it in the truck.
Oh yeah, 601 green.
601 green.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was just.
I've
kinda-
never been big into UFC. I don't like. I'll go to your house and watch it, but like
I will say,
I just
I'm not a
don't-
huge UFC fan, but if you go watch it with Scott, and Janelle for
Oh
that too.
yeah, Janelle's violent.
It's so much fun
She's
to
a
watch.
violent lady.
I don't want to. I'm not going to sit at home and watch it by myself, but I'll go watch it with those two.
Yeah, and it's. I get some
And
people get
honestly,
really put off by
Adele-
it because of the violence. But,
Adele's into it too.
oh, she's crazy into
Adele
it.
and Casey both are into
Yep,
it. So
yep, absolutely. We always love watching, and we host a lot of times at our place for those events, and it's a good time, man. It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
Right?
no,
Now, Rob,
no.
you would have liked this. There was a Twitter post, X, whatever they call it.
yeah, because I'm big on
Thank you.
Twitter.
I got to cut it right
Twatter.
here. But they actually had some of the main fighters, Paddy Pimblett, who is the dorkiest looking guy. He is absolutely English. You can barely understand what he's saying, even though he's speaking English. And he was unranked, and he was fighting the number 15 ranked in his class, and he won in the first round. And he kind of makes me think of Conor McGregor.
Guess what? He's not unranked now.
Right. Yeah, and everybody in the crowd, Patty, oh Patty. That's the chant that they do for
Oh,
him.
that's awesome.
But they're watching hockey fights,
oh,
and they're having him comment on hockey fights. And I mean, they had some of the guys and some of the girls that are UFC fighters, and they're like, I don't know how they do that on ice, and
Yeah.
and these were knockouts, like stone cold knockouts on the ice. It was kind of cool to
That is
see
cool.
guys that they fight for a living, right? I mean, hockey, you're supposed to be playing hockey for a living,
Yeah.
right? We all know fighting is a big part of hockey, and seeing them kind of comment and talk about, what some of those punches were thrown. Of course, they're bare hand, right?
Yeah.
And one was like, those guys are fighting. They got helmets on. They're going to hurt their hands. No, they seem to know how to connect pretty
yes,
well.
they do.
Yeah.
Shout out to Colin too, because that's still one of my favorite
I
hockey
meant to
fights
text
of all
him and
time.
send him that
I don't know if
video.
are you guys following him on Facebook or Instagram right now?
I don't think
his
I
personal
am, but
account.
I don't know if I've seen it.
He's been having a great time in his off season. He's been fishing like crazy up in
I thought you were gonna
he
say
lives up in
fighting.
Michigan. No, up in Michigan. He's been catching. I mean, he posted a picture yesterday of just this entire boat full of steelhead he caught.
Whoa.
I'm like, this dude is living his best life on his off season right now. So
Oh, yeah, good for him.
kind of want to go up there and go fishing with that
Yeah,
dude
as
now.
you should, though.
Oh my God, yeah.
Cool. So,
Well,
Rob,
good
I had
for
a
him.
question though. So
Yeah.
kind of circling back to the Drew Estate
Yeah.
cut and light. Can you kind of talk about? I mean, Drew Estate has so many cigars.
They
right?
do.
So, what are your like? Can you kind of highlight maybe like
Well-
what 2 or 3 of them that you really like?
Yeah.
That you have here. 'Cause-
Yeah, so I mean, Drew Estate really, they're two different animals really. They've got the sweet side, which they've pretty much cornered the market on the sweet side. You were smoking the Alo del Sol a while ago. That's a Drew Estate product. The Deadwood series is probably still their biggest seller. They have the Leather Rose, the Fat Bottom Betty, the Jane, and the Alice. Those all sell great. But they really also got their name known for the Liga Privada line, which we don't have here.
Number 9 is one of my
don't
favorites.
I just don't play that game right now. But they also have the Undercrown Maduro,
Yeah.
the Undercrown 10, which we have the Maduro and the 10s in
I should have
here.
brought my lighter.
They're both really great. Yeah, exactly.
My undercrown rattle can. Yeah.
And then the two the blackened cigars that they do with Hetfield from Metallica, great cigars too. So I mean they really hit all realms too. I mean Drew Estate's the one that came out with the acid line. Everyone thought you guys are stupid, you guys are crazy. They sell a shit ton
Yes,
of
they
those
do.
cigars every year. So I mean they really do a great job on the sweet side, but they also make some really great cigars that are non-flavored as well. So we'll have all those here. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to have Liga Privada line here, but we do have quite a range of Drew Estate, probably at least, I don't know, 10, 15 different facings
Cool.
from them. So we'll have those here for that night.
I really do like the undercrown. Like that's probably one of that's a good go-to for me.
Yeah,
If I'm looking
especially
for like
that Undercrown 10, man. That
inexpensive
10
stick,
Maduro is really, really nice.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it
in a
that
good
sweet
price point.
Jane that's is that chocolate?
It's kind of like more chocolate. It's more cherry pipe tobacco, but you get kind of a chocolate cherry going on with
Okay,
it.
yeah. I think I've had one of those because
Yeah.
I'm not a flavored cigar guy.
Yeah.
But I get it. For the people
yeah.
for the people that like it,
Yep.
I understand what they're
Yeah.
going for and why.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a pipe smoker. At home, I'm a pipe smoker.
Okay,
Cool.
yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, Drew Estate's Sweet Line, like, that's my jam. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's
yeah.
like, what do I grab when I come in here?
Yeah.
Every time. Like,
Yep.
Sweet Jane, Fat Bottom Betty,
Leather Rose.
Aloe de
Aloe de
Rose,
Sol.
Leather Rose.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
that's my shit.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it's just a little too. It's a lot too sweet for me.
yeah,
but
I get it.
But I totally understand.
Yeah.
I mean, my
But
cousin.
a lot of times when you guys are riding your bikes in, because you come in with a crew, if you guys have ever been here and you saw a full crew of 5, 6, 7 bikes come up, it's usually these guys.
Yeah.
But I will say you guys usually are very, very cautious of what you're doing. You're not drinking too much because
No.
you're going on your bikes.
Yes.
So you might have an old fashioned. That actually goes really well with an old
It
fashioned.
does.
Yeah.
Because that
Phenomenal.
sweetness with an old fashioned already has some sweetness too.
Yep.
Really kind of blends nicely.
Now,
together.
does one
So-
of your guys ride a bike that is a beautiful deep red?
Yes. That's Monkey.
And
Shout out, Monkey.
Shout out, buddy.
and I was here. I saw Monkey pull in. He did the same thing I did with my truck. Lightly grazed one of them barrels out there.
Yes, he did.
I
we were
saw
all
what
pulled
it
in-
ha- I
yes.
saw it
Yes,
happen.
we all rolled in that
And
day,
I
and
was
he
like,
goes, "Oh, fuck that barrel."
Oh shit!
Yes.
He just it was right on his saddlebag. It's just a one long
Yep.
scratch.
Shit.
Yeah,
I got the
'cause he,
same
like,
thing on the
I
front,
saw him
front
do
of
it
my truck.
we were like, we all like, we like try to stay tight and like keep out of the car's ways, and like we park around the barrels and whatnot. And he came in, and like I saw him, he's like, "Yeah, fuck that barrel." I'm like,
Yep. It's like, well, I guess I got to repaint that. It's like, oh.
That's funny.
Man.
We were driving up Shadeland yesterday, and I never drive Shadeland, but all the highways are closed because construction. And there's this one like pop-up tire place, and it's just F-tires.
Well, that sounds legit.
I looked over, I read it, it said F-tires. I said, fuck your tires too, man. Shit,
Man, I mean,
it's like, that was kind of rude, but
hey,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what,
Look at that,
man,
it's over.
the Drew Estate, the Black and the Headfield line that just came out, that's the
Shade to Black.
Connecticut- Yeah.
That one's good.
I mean,
Shade to Black's great.
for a morning stick with a cup of coffee, man, that's solid.
You're
Yeah.
never going to get Scott off his Metropolitans.
I know.
I
Have
love
you
that.
tried it though? Have you tried the Shade to Black?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
cool.
great
Okay,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. So Shade to Black is one of those I could do in the morning. The Espinosa Crema is also a great one in the morning. I just kind of have my
Your
my go-to, and it just really works with black coffee. Rob sells them to me by the box here. He doesn't have them out. I'm sure if you ever wanted to try one, he would go to the back and grab one for you. I think it's, I don't know, $8.50 or something.
Yeah.
Good price on it. It was actually Nat Sherman, and Nat Sherman went out of business. And what was it? Fiero del Tego, I think, that came in and bought the line. And it's a great cigar. It's got a molasses dip tip,
okay,
so it's not infused
right.
like
Just
with the
the
Drew
tip.
Estate. It's just the tip, and so it kind of fades
Just the
away after a
That's
little
what she
bit.
said.
Yeah, if the sweetness fades away in terms of that molasses flavor,
Right.
But then it's such a rich, creamy smoke that it has kind of almost like a milk sweetness. If you've had
Okay.
a milk stout,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what I always tell people. It kind of fades into that, and it's a
Nice.
Connecticut, so it's a nice light. It's not aggressive on the flavor or anything.
Nice.
Yeah, good cigar. Highly suggest it.
Well, yeah, August 17th. That's your event, right?
That is.
Which one is that? Is that the gala?
That is the ride.
The ride. Okay.
So August 17th is the ride. Again, jump on the website. You'll see our stuff. I will email you our flyer.
Okay.
If you want to throw it
yeah,
in.
we'll blast it out. We'll
That'd
put
be
it at the
cool.
end, and we'll put all the info in
yep.
the description. So
The gala is October 27th. My wife's going to kick my ass because I probably quoted that date wrong. But late August is the gala. That's an absolute hoot. Like, get dressed up. Don't get dressed up. We don't care. The theme for the gala this year is Old Hollywood. So a lot of our
Scott's going
folks
shirtless.
are like doing that jam. We've got a lot of Aubrey Hepburns and John Waynes and like all this kind of stuff going on. But come as you are, like your level of formal. So
When I go,
if your
I like
level
that.
of formal is a pair of cutoff jeans and a T-shirt, so be it.
when I
Come
go
on,
to
say
a
you
when I
guys
go
have to
to
all
a
have your-
gala,
What's that?
I'm gonna wear a tuxedo T-shirt
Do it.
because
Do
it
it.
says, I look good, but I'm here to party.
I'm here to party. Yeah, absolutely.
I say,
Absolutely.
you
Shake and
guys,
bake, baby.
You
Shake
guys
and
have
bake.
to all have your vests on, don't you?
We will for yeah. We'll be.
I mean,
wearing
come
our-
on, that's formal for you guys.
That is formal for us.
Hell
You're
yeah,
right.
it is.
You're right. You're right. It is.
It takes a while to stretch into all that leather.
Yeah, it does.
We-
It does.
We always have a great time talking to Kevin when he shows up because you never know which Kevin's going to show up.
There's three Kevins.
There's
Okay,
three
you ready
Kevins.
for this?
Tell us about
it. There's three. Shout out Kevin Morgan.
Kevin.
Dad. So there's professional Kevin. He's
Mhm.
coming in here to sell you alcohol and do his business.
Hair slicked back.
Hair slicked
At least a
back,
polo,
dialed
if not
in,
better.
like looking
Khakis.
ripped.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Looking ripped. Then there's Dad Kevin. He
Yeah.
might be in a pair of khaki shorts and like a polo.
white New
like-
Balances.
I'd say
Yeah.
New Balance tennis shoes.
Yeah.
New Balance
That's a
for your
requirement.
dad.
Yeah.
And then there's Biker Kevin.
Yep, yep.
And then there's Biker Kevin. He's got his cut and he's on his motorcycle. And
Oh, yeah, he's got sexual chocolate out
Sexual
in the parking lot.
chocolate,
Yeah, that's the name of his,
absolutely.
that's the name of his bike. Yep.
Sexual chocolate.
100%.
Yeah.
But
I know.
Chocolate.
That
So
is
we
funny.
did that tasting at West Fork a couple weeks ago with Arpo, and we were there with small batch doing some samplings, and Kevin was there. And
yeah,
it was so weird.
that was
'cause,
last weekend, right?
Yeah. So it was cool running into him like in the wild because
Yeah.
I got to
That
see.
was professional Kevin.
I got to see professional Kevin.
You got to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
professional Kevin.
Yeah, up
Yeah,
here I
you
usually
see him
biker
probably
Kevin.
Biker Kevin,
Yeah.
typically. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
haven't
he
seen
came in
Dad
here the
Kevin
first
yet.
time as professional Kevin. He walked in and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Acting like he knows you and shit, and you don't know who he
I'm
is.
like,
Yeah,
who
who
is
is
this?
this?
Oh, like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I see you.
Oh yeah, fuck, I remember you. Yeah.
That's great.
Let me slick my hair back, then you'll know.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks for
cool.
the sexual chocolate. Now all I got
Sexual
going through
chocolate.
my head is, I believe the children are the future. Treat them well and let them lead the way.
Such a beautiful audience. It's such a beautiful.
It's so
audience.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Right.
check the license plate out on his bike. It says sexual
Sexual
chocolate.
chocolate.
I'm
Yes,
not
it
shitting
does.
you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
amazing.
great.
That boy's good.
That boy's good.
What else you got, Rob? We got anything else to talk about? I think that's it. We
That's
got
about it for us
yeah,
right
we're
now.
we
about-
got our August 7th event, so be sure to check that out.
Yeah,
be sure
I
to
mean,
check out the
we could-
Blazer88 event.
We can start shouting out a little bit too, because we do have the Jack Daniels single
yeah.
barrel proof rye pick coming. Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's probably still going to be another 2.5, 3 months down the road, but that one will be coming down the road. So we're excited about that.
I
We're
really
doing that
hate
with
talking
Dirt.
about August events because that means like fall and
August.
winter and
August is literally
cold
just like
shit's
coming
coming.
up. It's like right here.
shut
this
your
next
mouth over
week.
I
there.
know.
I fucking love the winter.
Oh, dude. No, you shut
No.
your dirty
Fuck
whore
off,
mouth,
yeah.
all right?
Fuck off.
Oh,
I moved
yeah.
here from Vermont, man. I miss the snow. Fuck this place.
Go back to Vermont and enjoy
Yeah,
the
go
snow.
back to
Leave us
Vermont.
alone. Yeah.
They knew how to handle that shit. It would snow 4 feet of snow, and we'd still be going to
you-
school.
you
They
just
didn't
go
have
on
s-
up, go up to
we didn't
South
have
Bend,
snow days when I
okay?
went to school. Okay,
No,
we were
well,
walking.
that's the
Like,
generation shit, dude. Like
Yeah.
when I was a kid going to school, it would snow fucking 2 feet here, and we would stand in the fucking snow waiting for the bus to show
yeah,
up. Right
the bus would still come
Yeah.
get you.
now it like gets a little bit cold. Like, oh fuck, we're canceling school.
Yeah, it's windy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh
Yeah.
no, they go
But the
remote
kids-
days.
the kids have the
e-learning
worst.
days.
Yeah, the kids have the worst deal now because they don't even get days off.
Yeah,
anymore.
there's no such thing
Now
as
they
that.
have to sit at
Yeah.
their house and actually be on the
Yeah.
computer.
It-
But
we're
let's be
doing
honest,
school
e-learning
online
day.
today.
E-learning
Yeah.
day is like,
Yeah, fuck that.
yeah, I woke up for school thinking I was gonna have it, and it's an e-learning day. So by 9 o'clock, I'm done,
yeah.
and I'm out sledding. Yeah, that's. I mean,
Although
that's
in
not
Indiana,
bad.
lately, you had maybe one day all winter to sled.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Instead, it's just gray.
Gray. Yeah.
Muddy.
I'm
Muddy
telling you
gray,
right now,
yep.
if it gets, we're gonna have to get the Zoom thing going because if it ends up being gray like that, I will be spending a month or more down south.
Oh, is that going to be
So
your
I'll just have
e-learning
to-
time?
That will be my e-learning time going down south for a
Yeah.
month, and y'all just have to,
Scott's going to have to dial in because he's scared of the cold.
That's right. It's honestly, the cold doesn't bother me. If it was 10 degrees and
Just the
sunny,
gray.
It's
Yeah.
the
that's fine.
gloominess.
I'll
100%. That-
you know,
that-
I can layer up as good as anybody.
I'm the same way, dude. If it can be balls cold, but if it's sunny and pretty,
yeah.
I'm fine.
It
But
looks
that-
great.
The like gray and damp and bullshit, that just like chills me to the bone.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm my shade of white for a reason. When I walk outside and I have to squint because it's so bright, I'm like,
Nothing worse than
Vampire.
snow and sun, though. You're
that is
literally
pretty
just,
blinding.
dude.
yeah.
You can't drive down the road with your sunglasses
But it's
on.
so quiet.
It
You
is
walk
very
outside
quiet.
and there's like 2 feet of snow. It's just so peaceful.
I will sit
So
outside
quiet.
on my
God,
back
don't
porch.
talk about snow anymore, guys. Damn
I
it.
will. I will sit outside if
Why?
it's
Can we
look.
quit
If there
talking
is
about snow?
if there's no wind, it's sunny, and there's snow on the ground. That is like the absolute best. You just take beer, grab it, whatever, and throw it in the snow and sit out there and smoke 2 cigars and drink beers and.
I hope that it gets down to the negatives again this year,
Oh,
and then Geist
shut up.
freezes over,
Bro.
and then we're gonna do an episode on the ice.
All right, I'm in.
Dude,
See?
we don't have
Like,
to go to
okay.
Geist. We're
I'm
talking
gonna-
about doing the
I'll-
fishing
I'll-
trip out of my parents. That pond's an acre
Oh,
and a
that'll
half.
work
It
too.
freezes.
Yeah, that'll work.
I'll claim it right now. If that happens, I will come sit out there
Okay,
with you, and
yeah.
we'll talk
Alright.
about fucking ice and beer
what
and
is it?
cigars.
Ice
We'll
fishing.
drill some holes.
We'll
and
drill some
fish.
holes and drop
Yeah,
in some
let's
ice.
ice fish.
Yeah, ice
Yeah.
fish.
We'll build an ice fishing shack big enough for all of us.
Yeah.
and then
We'll put like what was your fishing shirt? We'll like put like 20 worms on a hook and see if
Right,
you can catch
exactly.
something.
yeah. See if we can catch something.
Yeah.
I'm the world's worst fisherman, just so you know.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we know that one.
yeah.
When,
yeah.
when Scott when Scott goes fishing down the Gulf Coast, his fish come out with a shrimp cocktail in their mouth.
yeah.
yeah. I think we've got
Fair.
a picture of that somewhere. It's just
Fair.
like 4 shrimp sticking out of this fish's mouth.
Yeah, but you caught one, right?
Eventually, it was
Yeah.
the only fish within like 100 miles, and he just kept taking my bait. So, yeah, I stuffed him. Like, had shrimp cocktail and fish all
He
at the
was,
same time.
absolutely-
he was in a food coma by the time you finally hooked him.
It's ridiculous.
All right, well, let's get out of here.
I
Let's
just noticed we got Jobu up there. We got Jobu down here. This is
Jobu.
great.
Jobu.
yeah.
Fuck
Oh, look
you,
at that.
Jobu.
Jobu's there. I just realized we put this on and none of the cameras are facing the TV.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh well. I
Fuck
guess
it.
we could have put the other stuff.
All right.
Oh, well.
It feels a little narcissistic having our show on TV while we're recording a show.
I don't
but-
think that's
Well,
narcissistic.
I was
going to
have the Olympics up, but for some reason our cable had no sound earlier, so it was like
Interesting.
That's kind of weird.
All right.
So
Well,
Whatever.
reboot.
U.S. women's soccer today, 3 p.m. Fuck Germany. Let's
Okay.
go. USA.
hey, I
Wow.
will say they had the water polo on yesterday, and the one thing I did fall in love with water polo is they've got penalty boxes. Hell yeah, baby! They got penalty boxes. They're treading water the whole time.
You ever played?
No, God,
I did
no.
when I was a teenager. I
God,
played a
drown.
little water polo.
That's got to be exhausting,
It's
man.
it totally. You better be absolutely
Oh.
in prime condition.
I will say this year the USA Olympic team, their goalie, she is a stud.
She is.
I mean, she really was killing everything. I mean, I think the USA won like 15-4 or something like that.
Wow.
And she stopped, and they pulled the entire team off. They're all walking off the locker room to get rest because they didn't need them, and it was pretty good. So I'm anxious to see. I'm anxious to see more of the Olympics this year.
I don't know why I am not into it at all.
Yeah.
Like I haven't watched any. I've not read any of the news stories. I'm kind of like,
It's because
really,
you
it's
love
time for
winter.
the Olympics again.
I have to watch it for a day to get into it, and like there was a lot of rugby on yesterday.
Yeah,
I love rugby.
Rugby's great,
Rugby's
yeah.
great. So I mean,
The women's soccer team's back to form. They look.
They
good.
are.
They look very good. I think they're going to make a good run. I
Yeah,
don't know if
well,
they'll win
Mike,
it.
you're not wrong about the winter thing because I do love the Winter Olympics.
Winter Olympics is fun.
My
I love
favorite
Winter
thing is
Olympics.
to be sitting there working and have curling on.
I love
Oh,
curling, man.
I
Curling?
watch the shit out of
Absolutely.
curling.
But why? Because it's so fucking boring. But
No,
at the same time, you're like, oh, fuck.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and
Come
the
on,
cool
scrub,
thing
scrub,
is-
scrub, scrub, scrub.
The cool
Yeah.
thing is, a dude with a big freaking beer belly can be
Oh,
out
that's
there
the
doing
best.
it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, let's
You
go.
do not have
All
to
of
be in
my
shape
beer
for that shit.
drinkers, man. I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's John
Yeah.
Daly's kin.
Exactly.
We need to try that too. Anderson has a curling club.
They do. So does
Yeah.
Indy. There's one in Indy.
Do they?
Yeah.
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 All right, well,
I'd be down to try that.
There's our ice episode.
All right.
Unless Colin will teach us how to fight.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just put mics on and then we'll just go hit some people.
That'd be great.
But we got to
Actually,
have him bring out Cameron.
Yeah,
Chris
Yeah.
Cameron.
yeah.
We definitely have to do some more stuff with him, and I'm serious. When I was telling him, and I'm gonna really hound this. I want to do a podcast at the new arena
Yep.
on right on the ice where they're coming off out of the locker room.
I could probably
We're gonna
get a
fist
feed of their
bump 'em
net
as they
camera.
go. I think that would be a blast. And now that we know 5 of the guys, well, I guess 4 of the guys that are playing on the team this year, that'd be really kind of cool to get to know the rest of the team. I think that's gonna be a blast.
I have not heard any updates on Seamus yet, so we'll.
Yeah,
we'll
I mean,
see.
honestly,
we're not supposed to talk about that. I don't think, but
Oh,
just-
we're not.
I mean, I don't know.
I didn't think it was a.
I don't know if it's.
I mean, he's got a family. He's got to figure out what he has to do.
Yep.
We really hope he comes back. I mean, I love that kid. He's fun. He's awesome. He's a great captain. I don't know if he'll be captain again this year. I know they switched that up, but I'd love to see him come back. But I mean, it comes down to a point where you're like, what? I got a family. I got to take care of my family, and I get it. I get it.
I
So,
couldn't believe when they said that the ECHL has more viewership and more attendance than the AHL,
I believe it.
which the AHL's the kind of the AAA. Like,
Yeah.
those guys are on contract to go
I
up.
wonder if that is more because the ECHL teams tend to stay together, and you'll get the occasional guy coming down from the AHL. But AHL, they're literally moving people down and up all the time.
True.
And
true.
I wonder if
Yeah,
it's just no
more
continuity
consistency.
to players, maybe.
Yep.
So I don't
Yep.
know.
Well, I'm ready. Indy Fuel
Seven-
starts end of October.
71 days
So-
till hockey season starts.
Hell yeah,
We're right
I am
there.
ready.
I am so ready.
You're not counting, are you, Rob?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at
No,
all.
it's a
checking.
ballpark.
Just
It's
checking.
it's-
Roughly.
Yeah.
My wife did say there was like 23 Fridays left till Christmas. I told her
Oh,
to shut her
Jesus.
mouth.
Yeah, fuck Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. No.
How many days until October 9th?
Now we get the official.
73, my bad.
73.
73
See?
days.
You just thought you were serious about it.
Well, there are a couple of games before, but I'm just counting down to the Avalanche start. So
Well, I will say for those that are NFL fans, this last Thursday was the last Thursday through the end of the year in which we would not have football.
Mm-hmm.
So from here on out, football every Thursday.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame game should be coming up.
It's
pretty
this
soon.
It's this coming Thursday.
That's right. Who's playing in the Hall of Fame game this year?
No idea.
Okay.
Hall of Famers.
No one cares.
Yeah,
Nobody
No one
cares.
cares.
yeah. It's flag.
Everybody
football anyways.
watches that because you're just so like.
You're just ready
There's
to
not
watch
been.
football.
Well,
Yeah, there's been no sports. This is the worst. July is the worst month
it's
for
hard.
sports. There's nothing. Auto racing on Sundays. That's it.
Yeah. Golf, if you're into golf.
Yep, a little bit of golf, but even from a golf perspective, I mean, you get past
You don't have
the
big
U.S. Open,
tournaments.
then you got the Open. Oh, the British Open, but that's it. And a lot of guys take 3 and 4 weeks off, so it's even the golf isn't all that great.
Girls
No.
Little League softball. That's what's going
That's
on.
on right now.
Yeah.
That's on TV right
That's
now.
great.
Little League
Oh,
World
goodness.
Series.
Little League World Series will be coming up. That's actually a lot of fun.
That is fun to
To
watch.
watch.
I'm telling you right now, if I'm going to sit down, given my choice, you're going to smack me. Given my choice, if I'm going to sit down and watch a sport on TV, I'm watching the Little League World Series or college baseball.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, during summer.
See, and that
Yeah.
was I was going to say that too. Is now that the Hall of Fame game is coming, we're not too far away from college football coming up too.
Yep.
So we're maybe a month away from college football.
Labor Day weekend kind of
Yeah.
right as the kickoff.
Yep.
Yeah. So college football kicks in, and then we got pro football coming. So I mean,
Big
there's sports
question will be
coming.
Alabama. No more Nick Saban.
Be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No
they
more Jim
dedicated the field
Harbaugh.
to him. Yeah, no more Hall.
Yeah, no more Harbaugh in Michigan too.
Right.
Who's new coach at
Right.
Michigan?
God, what's his name? He was the guy that took over.
didn't even look.
Offensive coordinator.
Oh, the
Took over
coordinator. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
I didn't see where Jim goes.
Bill
Is he-
Belichick.
San Diego or
San-
L.A. Sorry,
L.A.
L.A. Chargers. Yeah, I still call them
Okay.
San Diego
Yeah.
Chargers. Yeah. L.A. Chargers.
I'd like to see him stay in college. I mean, I don't know. I feel like sometimes these big time college coaches go to the pros and they just kind of get eaten alive, and I don't want to see that happen to him. He really did a hell of a job rebuilding that program and bringing it back to where it should be, and I just feel like that same way with like what's his face from Ohio State.
Ryan Day.
No, the coach that was at Ohio State that went to Jacksonville.
Oh, Urban Meyer.
Urban
Yeah,
Meyer.
yeah,
Of course, he dug his own grave there. But, it's like, again, you're kind of a god in college football, and then you go to the pros, and you're like now the rookie guy in there. It's like it has to be kind of hard for those guys. But I also get it. It's like as a college baseball or college football player or whatever, your goal is to never stop there. You always want to go to the pros. Same way in coaching.
Well, and and Harbaugh, from an NFL standpoint, I mean, he took San Francisco to a Super Bowl and almost won it.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Against his brother of all
Yeah.
people. But
Yep.
I think he's gonna pick up where he left off. I think he's gonna make that team good. I mean, he's got a hell of a quarterback to work with.
He does, yeah.
So he'll be good.
Heck yeah.
And the good thing is the Bears also drafted a new quarterback, so
Oh, thank God.
So thank God for the Pittsburgh Steelers. In 2 years, we're going to trade that off to them too, and he'll be good to go.
Sorry, Caleb, your career is already over.
yeah.
Before it even
in
started.
2 years, he can start building on it. It's
Will
fine.
the Bears ever be good again?
No.
Ever?
No.
Detroit is good.
No.
Like Chicago's not good, and Detroit is good.
The Bears will not be good until they get the front office out of the front office.
Yeah, yeah.
The owners need to go away.
Well, and they also need to figure out where the hell they're going to put their new stadium.
Mishawaka.
Dude, they don't fucking know. They're like, it seems like every day there's
Gary.
a story that comes out. It's like, oh, it's going out to the suburbs. Oh, it's
steel mills,
going damn near to Milwaukee. Oh, wait, it's
Yeah.
going to be right back on the waterfront. I mean, you don't know.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Floating
But it's
stadium.
not hockey, so it didn't matter.
True.
So,
Yeah.
True. Yep. Need a penalty box there as well.
All right.
That's true. All right,
Let's
man.
get out of here.
So anything else you want to talk about with Blazer, or we already talked about everything?
No, I think we're good, man.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate you guys all
Blazer88.org.
having us on.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Blazer.
appreciate your time, and
No, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
And the event date is
August 17th.
August 17th. But again, come in here. We're going to get something going for this giveaway.
Yeah.
But you'll see them around here more. We'll definitely be around
Yeah.
here. And if you ever see these guys coming in here, a bunch of bikers with their vests on, just go up and talk to them about
Yeah.
this, because I mean, I think your whole crew is definitely heavily invested in this.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at Final Third Cigar.
You can find me at Scotty D Smokes.
Cocky Wolverine on Instagram.
Find me at Both the Visual, Spencer Lees, and don't forget to follow the Final Third podcast on Instagram, finalthirdcigar.com. Check out blazer88.com. You guys have social,
Or-
right?
Dot
Yeah,
org.
Blazer,
.org, sorry.
Blazer88.org, and search Blazer88 Foundation on Facebook.
There you
Awesome.
go. Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in again,
Yeah,
buddy. We
thank you.
appreciate you, bud.
Yeah.
And we will see you all next week.
Yeah,
Cheers.
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 Guys.